Beleza. Falou, mano.
Valeu, um abraço, irmão. Tamo
Tamo
junto.
junto.
Acorda, Ju. Acorda que tá na hora. Acabou até a primeira queda, esqueci. Uhum. Fechou. Nada, tamo junto. Eu tô em WhatsApp, qualquer coisa que quiser colar é nóis. Uba. Isso aqui da cadeira. Celular. Aqui. Quero que se foda o mundo. Bora. Pubg Mobile. Tirar minha tela do WhatsApp daqui. Tá, também. Chat pop-out. Só testar que está indo. Funcionando. Funcionando, vambora. Pá, 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 pá. O que tá branco aqui? Ah, tá. Não, mas isso aqui é da Pel, né, velho? Não gosto da Pel, não, velho.
Here we go once again, back from the break. We're going to be going into day number 1,
Bora.
day number 2, game number 2. There we go. Got it there in the minute.
Bom dia, Nai. Como que você tá, meu amor?
It's going to be a wrangle. Our first of 3 here this afternoon. We're going to be looking at the plane path going down to the
Certinho.
south side. It's not going to be too easy or
Salve,
too hard.
rapaziada. Já começamos
A
a
lot of these
watch
teams
party.
do
Pubg
actually end
Mobile
up
Hong Kong
rotating
Invitational.
down onto the south side, so we should be
Segunda
fine.
quedinha,
Should
já
be
tamo
good
on
to go
fire.
for all these
Vambora,
teams. The real
Laivão.
question
Nai já
is,
chegou
where
com
is that
nós.
zone
Vambora,
going
vambora,
to
vambora.
go? And chat, we need your
Cola,
help.
cola.
Where's it going?
Tamo junto.
We want to see that in the chat.
Salve,
your
rapaziada. Já
predictions.
começamos a watch party. Pubg Mobile Hong Kong
As you
Invitational.
will. Where's it going to go? I think it's
Segunda quedinha,
probably going to
tamo on
center up,
fire.
and we might see a
Vambora,
Georgia
Laivão.
Pole Rozhawk
Nai já
sort
chegou
of
com
first
nós.
circle. That would be
Vambora,
really
vambora,
interesting.
vambora.
You think
No
so?
drop clashes. Yeah, I think that would be Sandstorm. I feel
Alright,
like.
well, let's have a look.
I mean, I feel like it would be. What do you think?
It's a very southern zone. You know, I think it's gonna go like Severny, shooting range, Rozhok, yes, Naya, Stalbert. Mansion's gonna be in there as
Tô
well.
bem,
I
você,
don't
como é
think
que você
George
tá?
Pool's gonna be in. Maybe just the very most eastern edge of it might be
Okay.
close to the zone. Like that's the prediction I'm giving you. So top right.
Oh,
Not even.
well,
okay, I
it's
mean,
top.
hey,
It's bottom right. So you're
Yeah.
closer than I was. GG's.
I got right.
Yeah,
Com
Right.
sono,
That works. Right.
mas
Right.
bem,
Yeah.
isso aí.
right.
Vambora, caralho. Vambora, caralho.
Right. Anyways.
Right.
Alright.
Anyway.
So
Bom
we
dia,
can
Alan.
see, Tianba, this time, this is not a
Como é que
slow
tá o
rotation.
Alanzinho?
See, this is
Guys,
a quicker rotation than
tamo
we
lá
used to.
também, no YouTube.
I mean, teams are still landing over here, and it looks like we might have a little bit of a clash,
Lawrence
possibly.
is chilling.
Tamo no,
Lorenzen is
lá no YouTube.
trying
Oh
not
my
to get
god,
caught
no,
out
no,
here.
no.
Oh,
Deixa o like lá.
Uh-oh.
come on, you know you wanna.
Uh-oh. Lawrence, no, Lawrence!
Deixa o like lá pra nós.
Not the start that Influence Rage would want to have. Lawrence
I don't understand.
forced to go down. But I mean, I'm not sure what the situation in here is, but Influence Rage are completely split up.
They are. I'm confused as to why Nobu, or Osal rather, didn't stop the vehicle. Just stop and let him shoot, but okay. Void Donkey, on the other hand, going up against BTR. Some really early clashes here, but they're not team clashes. They're just individual sort of oopsies almost, where it's kind of like, we didn't really mean to drop here on top of you guys. Like,
Tem que trocar
can we
só
just, like, kind of go away now? But that is a 1v1.
o
Satar's gonna
título.
get that back up, but he doesn't get it. Vexy does go on down, so Void Donkey gonna be the first to lose a player
E
here.
aí, dona
very
Nai?
early
Tá
on.
torcendo pelo...
And this is what
por qual
happens when
time?
we're seeing a big meta. Sandstorm
Vamos ver
towards
se a senhorita ainda
these
lembra.
teams ending up going for large splits over the looting phase, and sometimes that really doesn't work in your favor, because the minute you get drop clashed by somebody, you're immediately in a 1v1.
And Lefty don't want that to happen to you. So now, Tianba, they managed to get themselves a couple of vehicles. They rotated, and now they're able to get themselves a nice, decent bit of loot. Hopefully get themselves underway. Switching over to Matic and Team Spirit. Playing chicken dinner in the previous game, and now Void Donkey. Oh, no. Void Donkey, they already suffered a loss, and this is the second in terms of Zeta, and it's at the hands of Federals, who just keep stacking up those numbers, just keep stacking up those eliminations. Razy was traded, but Satar last has a different angle on Razek. Will he be able to finish him up as well? Because now it's a 2v4 in favor of BTR. And down goes Razek.
Caiu da cama? Dormi foi cedo. Campeonato... Esse campeonato é muito bom pra estudar. Quando se trata de estudo mesmo, eu levanto cedinho. Mabel. Como é que você tá, meu bem? Tudo certo?
And they're not going to be able to do a thing about it. This is such tough luck here, but they're not the only ones.
Salve rapaziada, já começamos a watch party. Tava de mobile Hong Kong Invitational.
This is rough for them as well.
Segunda
We all
quedinha,
know
tamo on fire.
King,
Vambora, live
big
1.
player
Nigel
for
chegou
the
com
team.
nós.
And
Vambora,
at 11th
vambora,
place,
bora.
33 points. They're not
Cola.
in as much of a world to hurt as Void Donkey.
Salve
but still, you don't
rapaziada,
wanna
já
lose that
começamos a
player
watch
early.
party. Tava de mobile Hong Kong
Yeah, you
Invitational.
really don't, because it just
Segunda quedinha, já tamo on fire.
for you and
Vambora,
your
live 1.
rotations. Usually that
Nigel
full
chegou com
squad, you don't really have to
nós.
second
Vambora,
guess
vambora, bora.
any kind of decisions when it
Cola,
comes
cola.
to taking a fight or not, but you lose a member, you're like,
Salve
okay,
rapaziada, já
or
começamos
they
a
a
watch
full
party.
squad, that's instantly the
Tava de
person
mobile
who
Hong
would
Kong
be
Invitational.
Marcar o Damásio.
Segunda quedinha, já tamo on fire. Vambora, live 1.
Marca
Nigel
aí.
chegou com nós. Vambora, vambora, bora. Cola, cola.
Your decision making when you don't have the
Salve
numbers in your
rapaziada,
favor.
já
So,
começamos a watch party. Tava de
definitely
mobile
don't
Hong
wanna
Kong
be losing
Invitational.
in the early stages of the game.
Segunda
Tô bom
quedinha,
demais,
já tamo on
velho.
fire. Vambora, live 1.
Descansando até segunda-feira?
Nós. Vambora,
Ixi,
vambora,
então vou ter
bora.
que dar uma viagemzinha aí no Iguaçu.
Salve rapaziada, já começamos a watch party. Tava de mobile Hong Kong Invitational. Segunda quedinha, já tamo on
Interesting
fire.
here that Thunder Talk have not just used the cliff to get out of dodge, right? To get out of the way. Instead, they've stopped. They're looking for a potential clash here with Tianba, but Refus is right behind them from APG. You start to see APG starting to move on in, so could be a difficult thing for Thunder Talk to kind of avoid. I don't know if there's a boat down at the bottom there, but no, they're gonna move on. They're gonna use it. That's the best play here because you see Top up on the bridge. Doc is moving into behind his teammate. So yeah, for Thunder Talk, they really don't want any of that heat just yet. It's way too early in the game to be doing any of that. 6 minutes in, you've already lost one player. I'm not sure that's really what you want to see. Here we go. King really did not mean to find anybody up here. He was not aware Doc was going to be up here. In fact, Doc was, again, just that solo. Comes down to that solo, big spread, 1v1 situation, and King was just unable to combat it. But now Tianyu making Tianba leave. Interesting. I would have thought Tianba might have tried to fight that a little bit more, but again, they're a little bit more split up, and that 1v3 just isn't very appealing this early in the game.
You know what is appealing though in this game at the moment?
Vambora.
That the zone's closing, and it's only the first one.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you.
Vamos
You're
torcer
right.
pelo
We had a
Brasil,
lot of
Mabel.
action, and it's only 7 minutes in. The first game.
I
the
say
first
a lot
stage
of
hasn't
action.
even
We've
gone
had
in.
6 eliminations in 7.
Vamos torcer pelo Brasil, vambora, vai dar bom.
It is
Yo,
quite exciting.
that is crazy.
But listen,
Deixa eu
yeah,
botar
but
o
look,
mouse
this is
aí.
Wrangle, Miramar does the same thing. Miramar's even worse in that aspect, just because
No
we're
fio,
talking about a
como eu não
bigger
tô
landmass,
jogando.
same amount of teams, a lot of open ground, but still.
Bandeirinha brasileira no chat.
This is when we get to see,
Pra
I
gente
guess, the
mandar
teams that are
aquela
more calm
fotinha
and
lá no printzão.
which seems like to fight more. At the moment,
Pode flodar aí à vontade que eu vou tirar só uma fotinha.
getting closer and closer to Kinotrope. Is Kinotrope aware of such presence is the question.
They are now.
Floda a bandeirinha do BR aí pra nós aí.
Sensed something. Something's not right in the
Acho que é
force.
Altigrande BR, né?
Gonna be looking.
Isso aí.
I'm just watching. I'm watching and I'm waiting. We'll see. We'll see what happens. They are very close though. That is concerning. Nordbu able to just kind of get some nades going, but that's going to be the first sign for Kinotrope to get out of dodge. They don't want
Yep.
anything to do with that just yet.
And I
don't
like
blame
that.
them. Yeah.
I like that decision making instant. It's like, okay, there's no need. Right now, there's no need to take a fight. You're not holding a compound that you are dying to defend. You're in the open. You're split 2-2. There's no reason for you to take the fight. There's no risk. There's no reward really. And right now, they're just focusing on getting together and then holding a
Deixa
position.
eu marcar lá.
I like that decision making. We're switching over towards the likes of Reject, who had a good performance, but still, I wouldn't say like lacking a little bit yesterday, but hopefully this time around they'll be able to turn things. Tony K. No.
Tony.
What's happening with vampires?
Tinha que
actually?
ser ele, né, véi?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we saw this from them in yesterday's games as well. They had
Nossa,
the
a
first
VPA
few
tomou
games
muito
that were
dano,
kinda
velho.
rough, and then they brought it back. So maybe it's just again.
O cara tomou
that
dano
sort of thing
entrando no
that's happening
baratão,
again
velho.
now. It is a rough position to be in, though. This cliff is notoriously difficult to win, so it's an interesting position to take this early. I feel like a lot of teams might be targeting you because of that. But CD Alliance, another team that could really use the points. It's a nice push from them. 2-2 split either side, looking for those nades, looking for any sort of knock that they can get up onto them, especially because they know Ventorez is there somewhere, but they're not going to push it too much. That's the smoke going up. They're going to get back into those vehicles pretty soon.
Pretty soon indeed. Cluck, Jimmy, Olial, Leon, the side of Cole Alliance. I mean, I'm not sure what we can say to this squad outside of that. Today, you need a 50 to 60 point day, easily.
Yeah.
You needed a 50 to 60 point day today. You already missed out on the first game. If you don't average 10 plus points over the rest of
Precisa de mais
the game,
café? Já volto?
absolutely no
Fechou,
chance
também
of
pegar
winning
café.
this time.
Nossa
You do it,
senhora,
getting
velho.
more and more elims. Knock onto Schweppes. No one to steal this elimination.
Nice.
Secured by Leon. That's 1 point out of the 10 that you need to secure in every single match. Consistency is key here.
Yep. I mean, again, though, if you go into 24, if they get 10 points in this game, let's just say, that's 24 points. That puts them in 13th position. That's a big jump up, 3-4 points, and it puts you in the running for the rest of the games. We have 4 more games after this one. That is plenty of time to move up the rankings. If they can just use game 2 for any of those teams below sort of 12th, if they can use this game to just get as many points as possible, then they are putting themselves back in that running for that Smash Zone placement threshold. Point threshold. There we go.
You got there.
I got there in the end. It's fine. Fabian, Diego, can they get there? One or the other. I think that's a little bit of a scout there. That bridge is really going to help. And that's going to be Influence Rage going, okay, scout done, info taken, point taken, we're going to move away now.
Tem o que, Pedro? 30, 25, 30.
Gonna happen this time around between these two squads under top game.
Nossa, mano, Alpha 7.
Both go down.
O Mafioso estava bem posicionado demais.
Who gets flanked by Mafioso? 2v1 now. Squash and Mafioso up against Tianyu. Can he do it? Or will the Molly burn him to a crisp? He's stuck in that corner, unable to run away. Spam from the S12K. Just trying to get a little bit more damage on the Tian. Gets followed. Squash gets the elimination. Alpha wipe. Thunder Talk. They lose Carrillo only, but Tianba is here. This time, they are no
Tianba eliminada.
to this push. It is quick, it is
Nice
clean, it is
nade.
concise, but Bant gets
Ó o
knocked
Milo,
down.
velho.
Mafioso swings onto QZZ, gets another one. Mafioso helping to turn this fight around, and all of a sudden, Tianba lose two. It's a 2v2 situation. 2v1, are you kidding me, Alpha? What is the story with Brazilians and wiping two squads in 2 minutes? This is the second time it happens from a different squad in a different game, on a different map. Tianba, what can you do? Aching not
Nothing.
much to put forward an Alpha 7. With one hell of a highlight reel being shown in front of us right now. No, this is not a replay. This is live. And Alpha just wiped two squads.
Mano, que doideira, velho.
I mean, you know what? The only thing I can say about Tianba
Entregaram
is at
6
least
kills pra
you,
Alpha 7, velho, de
denied the
graça ali.
point by nading himself. So when his last teammate went out, he didn't actually give that point over to A7. That's why they've got 6 points, not 7, because that should have been a full squad wipe. It was not. That is really rough
Entendi
for
nada
Tianba.
agora,
He
mano, essa
came in
trocação,
really
velho.
nicely and then just got absolutely obliterated. There doesn't seem to be much of teamwork going on with Tianba at this point in time. They kind of feel very individualistic in their pushes. And A7 were just able to take that and rip it apart. Some really nice nade bounces coming in from them. Some good angles. They had control. They were in control. And that's the thing, is they thrive on chaos. A7 and Influence Rage, both of them. They thrive on that high action, quick-paced gameplay. So when they finish up a fight and another team comes rolling in, they are ready. And Tianba just was not.
Yeah, they really weren't. This is the second time. I mean, I thought because they had the numbers advantage and they were quicker on the rotation this time around. But yes,
Jesus,
the second they got there, it felt like the communication fell. They didn't know where all the players of Alpha 7 were positioned. They were caught off guard time and time again, and we'll have a look at. And like, this is Milo knocking himself.
Milu,
He knocked himself with the nade as well. That is not a mistake that you can make in a fight like that.
Aí, te falar que rush feio do caralho,
I
viu?
mean, he denied the point.
Nossa, hein, quase teve uma nocauteada ali agora.
That's like the silverest of
Caiu o
silver
Diego.
linings. Sure, you
Finalizado,
denied the point,
mano.
but you lost so much. You could have gotten the whole. You could have gotten the fight. You could have got 3 clean elims.
Que coisa feia, tu viu isso, né?
It was very. The communication was nowhere near. Alpha 7 after
Sorry.
that fight. I mean, hey, there was not much they could do. They were caught up during their rotation and they were eliminated. It's still a
Okay.
positive thing for Alpha 7 because they were able to wipe out 2 squads after being put in a tough
Senhora,
situation.
velho.
So I would still
Faz
take
essa
that as a
eliminada.
positive for them.
I mean, tied with LGD at this point. I'm just so surprised because it often seems like after we have these
Filma aí,
big
Fê, por
fights,
gentileza.
we all of a sudden
Tem
they're just
condição
gone.
da gente
Like,
querer
this
ver o BR?
full squad in a good position. Oh, they're gone now. But it is what it is. They get caught out on rotation.
Caiu o
as you
Lil
said.
Boy.
BTR still looking to contest this side of the ridge.
BTR.
WBG behind them, DK ahead of them. A little bit squished for comfort. I feel like they're going to be pulling back, just trying to take themselves out of a sandwich
So-
situation, and I think maybe just even going around would be the best call here.
Let's see if that's the call that's going to be made in this situation.
Not this way,
here.
though. The other way.
Hold on. Let him cook. Let's see what BTR will be able to pull off here, as they are only 2 points behind first place and 2 points ahead of third.
Levantou
We've
o boy.
just been seeing them on the elimination feed time and time again at this point, and not in their favor, really. They had a good.
Nossa,
they got a
mano.
chicken dinner in game number, or in one of the games on day 1.
Ó o
And
Mela.
then it's like they entered a food coma after having that meal, after having that juicy chicken
Nossa,
dinner.
velho.
So not able to perform after that LGD. They lost out on Blink during one of their rotations towards the
O
northwestern
Vampire
side.
morreu? Morreu. Vai com Deus.
Now they're deciding, okay, there's too many squads here. I don't think we can fit in, because there's DK and DRX present in the same area as well.
DK Plus é muito
Vampire will be
insuportável, velho.
wiped by D plus Kia as well here in that.
D plus Kia need the points, though. I mean, they're in 13th. I think nobody was really expecting them to be so far down the leaderboard, so any points are points at this point. 5 points on the leaderboard so far. They're getting closer to that 30-point mark.
Tem que mandar PG de lobby.
And so far, if they can just survive 2 more teams, then they will be going into that placement point territory as well, and every little helps, but maybe not if their countrymen have anything to say about it. DRX now moving in, trying to contest that space, trying to get rid of them any way they can, trying to gatekeep a little bit. WBG staying out of it. They don't want the heat. They don't want that smoke. They just really want to use the explosive bow without getting caught. Sook, can he do it? Can he not go out before he gets into him?
I believe in Sook.
We all
I think
believe in
all
Sook.
of you should. I think every single person watching.
Mano, o
this
problema da Inf é que ela tá no
Snap.
aberto. Nossa
We'll get back to that
senhora,
later,
bicho.
'cause right now LGD going for a push onto D plus Kia. They're able to get a couple of eliminations. Osal and Nolbu not able to assist from the distance. MBM secures the elimination onto Fabian. And LGD in a very tough situation. Tian will be left alive with after
Nossa, que
the
isso?
last 2.
Lol.
Couple of smokes to provide some cover. D plus
Boa, roubou uma kill.
Out.
move, and MBM is here for
D
backup.
plus Kia
And D
caiu.
plus Kia will be
Six
eliminated.
Sire.
I was trying to see what in the heck was happening in that fight.
Yeah.
But we'll get back to it later.
A Wave
because
tem que ir de
now
lobby,
we are
velho.
in the 19th minute of the match, and a lot of the
Divine
fights are
caiu.
starting to break out more and more as teams are fighting
Voltou,
for
trouxe café pra nós?
position, fighting for survival in this game, fighting for every point possible. Weibu, you are in the lead. You cannot fail right now. You cannot fall. You have to get eliminations. You have to get points. You have to be proactive.
Nossa, velho, que sprayzaço.
WBG are being just that, although I think they've they tried to be proactive, they tried to regroup, they tried to push where they needed to, but I don't
Doc
think
pegou Divine.
I don't think they did it successfully
Wave tá em
enough.
3?
Now you're starting to see them really go for it. DRX left off
Tá
the
em
pressure
3.
for just a second, and off they go, leaving their teammate behind. That's all they can do. Just going straight
Nossa, nós
into
estamos num
this,
skipinho
dip
muito no
here.
aberto,
I'm
velho.
not sure that's the best play, but it is center. I mean, hey, they're in zone, so maybe that's exactly what they want to do. LGD might be
Vai ter que
following
jogar
suit
muito
here.
suave, velho.
In that Elan feed, you do see
Nossa
Quer going up
senhora,
against CD
velho.
CD Alliance, rather.
Olha a mira desses
Absolutely
caras,
able to
velho.
get that clean little spray and finish over onto BTR Ryan there as well, as CD Alliance do go out. No more points
Pegar aí.
on the board for them. Sandstorm, they're still 14 points on the board, 16th place.
Nossa, velho. Pegou o duelo, velho.
That was a couple of more eliminations. Reject. Get absolutely torn apart from so many different directions, but somehow
Reject
it's
caiu,
MTG that
nice.
steals that last elimination in the nick of time.
Nossa, MVM quase cai, velho.
So you know what, I do have to say, massive shout out to production, just because I have to say the amount of information we're getting on the right side, showing the names of the players on the team that's currently in first place. Love that. Absolutely phenomenal.
Eles estão dominando eles vão dominar esse Harry Potter até.
Continue. 8 squads
Próximo é safe,
remaining.
tem que descer, velho.
26
E tem que descer lá na Inf,
players
mano.
left alive. APG and all of look at that.
Eles
First
dominaram.
to seventh
Nossa,
and then
dominaram Harry Potter
12.
bom pra caralho, velho.
My lord, this is just an opportunity. This is when the teams can start, I want to say, getting us to the point where we might see a top heavy leaderboard. When the teams at the bottom start dying out early and being eliminated early on, and then the top half is the one that keeps on surviving, keeps on getting eliminations with those placement points too.
Yep. But which of those teams is going to be the one to stand out here? DRX could do
Nossa,
a
tamo no
lot of
limite.
work here, especially with that zone. Sandstorm, are you kidding me? This could be DRX's ticket out of the bottom half of the leaderboard. If they play this well, they should be in a really, really good position.
Cara,
into the top 10,
mano
into
do
the
céu,
top
velho.
9, they need just 10 points. That's a lot to ask at this stage in the game. However, they could really do some work here. If they get a top 3 with 6 or 7 in limbs, they are looking very, very good for the rest of the game. So I think the next play here is to make sure LGD do not push them, because LGD will want this spot. So as long as they can fend them off, they are looking very, very good.
Yeah. Let's see if they manage to do so. I want to say a golden opportunity for the likes of Kinotrope in the position that they're in at the moment. See if they can translate that into something.
Nossa senhora, velho. Vamos ir.
This game
Devagarzinho, hein.
range as well. They still have the 3 players left alive. This
Devagarzinho, hein.
It's so many teams that are going to be fighting to that number 1 spot, and this is exactly what we mean when we say we want the teams to always try to remain with 10, 15, maximum 20 points, 30 maybe from that first place. So come the final day, you actually have an opportunity to catch up to the teams and not feel demoralized when a team crosses the threshold and you're still 40 points behind or 30 points behind. So just make things easier for
Ligar pro Prior, velho.
LGD, they're looking for it. Afu needs to heal up before they can make a serious push, and this is where DRX's smokes come in clutch here. Just denying any sort of visibility away from LGD, making sure that nothing is going to happen here. BTR caught out in the field. It's not going
Nossa,
to
a
be
APG tá
a
farmando
third
muito
or second
ponto,
place
velho.
finish for them today for this game. But still, they got a decent amount of points. They slide into second place with that elim, or with this game.
Pode parar de matar já,
Good.
APG.
Team Spirit still here, though. Not sure where, actually. They've been a silent partner in all of this. They're down to the south side. I mean, but they don't have to be noisy, right? This is their drop spot. They drop farm. So for them, this has been a very, very easy game. Very easy transition to where they need to go. You see some things popping off in the Elam feed. APG going on down to just a solo. Possibly even going out if they can't win the 1v1. And Sook! We didn't see it, but Sook gets Yo with that explosive bow. He's gonna finish up that knock.
Producer,
So APG down.
take us
Calma, amigável da minha
I
de
know.
sniper no Fortnite.
Oh, well, Tian,
Okay.
no,
Esquece,
things are
filho,
happening.
esse cara aqui
Tian
é-
losing forward, gets
E é
taken out
celular, tá?
immediately. Hyunbin
Não é
able
nada,
to
mouse e
get him from
teclado.
behind a tree,
Boa,
man.
Lau,
I don't
boa,
know.
Lau.
I mean, okay, look, they were able to trade.
Eliminando a PG, velho.
We'll get back to that a little bit later, as now Hyunbin continues
Two.
to fight. Hyunbin goes down. Tian able to crawl back and get to a position where he can get revived. DRX, so
Nice.
much pressure being applied.
Mano,
by
agora vem
LGD,
limpando
so
beirada,
it's
vem
not
limpando
to
beirada.
unlock that far angle.
Tamo nas costas da...
What can you do? He's gonna try with this nade to see if he can maybe finish off that player that was
Tamo nas
knocked
costas de
down.
quem? Da Weibo?
The nade will be able to get there.
Não, acho que é da KN.
Not, Tian will be revived if I'm not mistaken. Now they're
Tamo
gonna
nas costas da
heal.
Weibo,
Lots of
mano.
damage coming into second, he peeks.
O Ranzinho caiu, velho.
And they're still in the zone.
Wow.
Ninguém tá third na Weibo, né, velho? Com a gente lá, né? O Ranzinho eliminado. Ninguém dá... Mano, dá pra filmar o Brasil, mano? Mano, 7 horas da manhã, não me faz gritar não, por favor, velho.
And look, behind the rock, just barely outside his zone. He's really giving a run for their money. So as the hero
Nada, é
of
prática, pô.
DRX right now, just holding him off, gets a knock. Could
33 tá indo de
potentially-
carro lá atrás da
but he's not
gente,
gonna
velho.
do anything more
Mano,
from
tira
here,
essa
but he can
tela
just
daí,
ruin their
cara.
game as much as possible. And now WBG looking like they might want to have some
Porra.
say in what's going up
10
above
anos no
them.
mesmo time, cara.
But order gets taken low. No one's in zone right now.
Ah lá,
except
mano, não
for
para de
Pan.
filmar LGD, mano.
So
Só porque é da China.
With the hand that they have been dealt at the moment, so as thinking, okay, well, it was nice while it lasted, but I'm still gonna make this as long and
E aí, como é que foi lá na Champions?
painful as possible for the
Ali o
side
bot
of
caiu.
LGD. Smoke, smollies, and everything being thrown. Order.
Lau,
Wave
tudo
for
contigo,
Tian,
irmão.
trades Tian, thinking, I want
Mano,
this
não
fight
filma,
over,
não
I want
inf...
this fight
eles não
done.
filmam a inf,
All
mano.
players of LGD go down.
Os caras não filmam, mano.
And I believe it was to a third party from Weibo. it wasn't the member
Os caras
of
não
DRX.
filmam,
They've
mano.
been able to get one knock, but not all of them. DRX are out, and now we have our final four. Weibo trying to see if they can get into the zone. Team Spirit looking for a back-to-back. They have been so quiet this entire game. They have one elimination to their name, and now they're in the 7th zone. And quite possibly, if they're able to take out Kinotrope, they can get a back-to-back.
Mano, filma.
They absolutely
Os caras não
could.
filmam inf,
So,
velho.
We've seen them change up the pace. Never mind. Nobody
Nossa,
with the
não
nades
me
gonna get that
caiu
opening
feião
knock. Nobody
ali.
gets traded, though. So that puts you back down to
Lau,
square
muita
one.
calma, Lau. Não
Finale
se espota agora
does
não,
go
Lau.
on down. Mark is made very, very low here, and this is
O
where
Lau
the
tá
nades just
avançando
keep on
deitado,
coming in.
mano.
Effect with the nade. Nasty work onto
Ah, mano,
Mark
pra que
here.
vai
If
abrir,
it was
mano?
ready
Pra
to
que
go
que
out
vai
there,
abrir,
consider they
velho?
pick up another point, top
Era só
three
esperar
for them.
cara da KN
Once
cair,
again,
mano.
where was this Team Spirit in PMSL CSA? This is looking like a back-to-back win if WBG aren't careful, but WBG look
I think it
again
is.
with this fight. No, again with this fight, look at it. They've been
They
able
have
to
the third
move
party
in.
now.
They do.
Yeah.
But they have that zone, they have the spread. Kitsune and crew might just go down here. Yeah, Sook able to get this spread.
Nossa,
it
punido
gets him
demais,
traded
velho.
immediately here. KN just down to a solo. Allows Team Spirit to have a little bit of time to work here. It could go either way.
It really could. And Kinotrope, Ozzy-san, he's just trying to survive. He has nades, mollies, and everything being thrown from every possible
What?
angle. Still being able to survive this much pressure, this much damage. But it's fine. Team Spirit now. They're back to 3 players. And in fact,
Isso, acaba com essa
doubling
wave
up
aí.
onto order. He knows they have to take care of the possibility of a third party in order to secure this game, in order to get the first back-to-back. Is it possible? 4v1v1 essentially at this point. Ozzy-san from KN, phenomenal to stay alive up until this point and to secure top 3, but is it a top 2 or will 3-3 Zet survive? Just
Mano, pra cara da Weibo tá muito bem posicionado, mano.
There we go.
Ozzy-san will be
Okay.
taken out. Yeah, Matic secures it, and now it's a 4v2. Yes, but I believe one of the players is knocked down. Sook, there is no
Yeah.
chance of a revive. And the best thing for 3-3 Zet to do is, I mean, you can try the one.
Bom dia, vigarista. Como é que você tá, meu irmãozão?
And then they can just chill. You could just die to the zone and not give them the point.
Yeah. At this point, well, I
Mano,
don't think it's gonna be,
1v4. Se
allowed
esse
now. No,
cara
it's gonna be-
meter o wipe, viado.
Oh, and he's gonna give the point
Já
over.
derrubou
Maybe
mano.
not. They now have that info though. That was a valuable knock. He might get knocked, but
Ele já derrubou
that's what
mano.
they needed to do. The nade is gonna be coming through. Nomi might just give a point away to Weibo here. Possibly. Doesn't look like it did any damage. He's looking for that info though. He really is trying to get that one.
Não, mas Free
Elim.
Fire é um
Yep, there he
lixo.
goes. That's their 9th point on the board.
Is this possible?
Fair enough.
Mas se forem me contratar pra narrar, tô narrando, viu? Pra jogar que não rola, mas narrar.
I say that.
Inclusive eu tava na torcida do Corinthians, Zonai.
Let's have a look. It's a 1v3.
Semana passada,
It's always in favor of,
na final do Free Fire.
Team Spirit 100%. If one of them can stand behind one, I mean, I don't think he has any more nades. He only has one molly.
Deny
Can
the
only
point.
do so much in this situation. Yeah, it has to be denied that point. But I mean, if you can get more knocks, if you can get more damage.
Olha isso, mano. Olha
He's
isso,
taking this
viado.
spy. Okay,
Olha esse
hold on,
cara,
hold
mano.
on, hold on.
Olha esse
1v4,
cara,
1v1,
velho.
Okay.
V2.
Olha esse cara, velho.
I was very worried there for a second. Geez, Team Spirit with our
Mano,
first
double.
back-to-back win of the event of PMH.
Double win já, velho, dos caras.
They come in clutch, back-to-back. I mean, this is the Team Spirit I was wanting to see.
I knew you were going to be excited about this, specifically because it's going to be Team Spirit getting the back-to-back. Heck of a
No.
performance. Oh, no. Not biased whatsoever.
None,
But
nothing.
incredible performance from Team Spirit. I
Mas
have to
torcida
say,
boa, tá aprendendo?
representing
Sai pra
EU
lá,
against
porra.
some of the best teams in the world, and they are able to perform to the highest level. Phenomenal from this team. Okay, so they're just changing the pictures with us. Okay, I get it. We see you boys.
We're flipping around. It's all good.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's insane to see a back-to-back from the beginning of day 2.
Melhor que
This is
seu-
something that Spirit sometimes
Bom,
does, I want to say. It's either that they
na
perform
tabela
very
lá o
well,
Vasco ficou acima, né?
specifically in the previous tournaments that I've seen. It's incredible performance in, let's say, like league stage or super weekend, whatever you want to call it, before the grand finals. They arrive to the grand finals, incredible day 1, and then fall off the rest of the days.
Yeah.
they don't seem to be having
Meu Vasco
tons of
tava em cima
problems.
do...
This time around, they seem to understand and know each other quite a lot more. I feel like compared to last year, it seems like they're a lot more comfortable with each other this time around. The communication is on point, it seems, and it's clearly showing through the results that we're seeing from this lineup right now.
It really is. It's really, really good stuff. But I will say also, we
Milagre
were
está
able
acima.
to come through with a
É quem
second
fica,
place
é que
with a
quem fica
decent
por
amount
baixo
of
geralmente
points. I think
toma,
we got 9
tá ligado?
wins in the end, right? So
Nós botou o Corinthians pra
we
mamar
are
lá
looking
no
at
Free Fire.
Team Spirit
É no
not
Free Fire, no
really
Crossfire.
able to top the leaderboard just yet. Maybe they have by a point or two, but the fact that we were able to get 9 elims with a second place finish means
Por favor, não
they're staying
sufoque os
ahead.
artistas,
They
viu?
don't
Vou
have
pegar
to
um
have the big
cafezinho.
flashy
Aqui,
games.
aceita o cafezinho?
Don't have to have all
Por isso
the
que você
points.
tava mamando
Just
até esses
try to
dias
stay
atrás,
ahead.
né? Foi mal, viado. Sou viciado em peito. Já volto. Pelo amor de Deus, gente. 7 horas da manhã, velho. Vamos parar com esses assuntos aí de putaria, por favor, velho. Vai dar 8 horas da manhã ainda, velho. Deixa eu pegar um café, velho.
But so far, this competition, this tournament, has been very, very exciting, if I'm being honest. And I'd love to hear from you, boys and girls, watching us in the chat. Let me know what you think. How's the tournament so far? What do you guys think of the team that you're supporting? How are they performing? And who are you supporting? Let us know in the chat. We got 11,000 of you beautiful people out there.
11K, sheesh. There's a lot of y'all watching. I hope you're happy with how the results have been going so far. There's been a lot of big action coming in, but Team Spirit able to just take the cake on both games so far. Is that going to be the way it's going to work in the next games, in the next couple of games? I don't really know. You know, we have 2 more Orangles coming up. The other teams have been playing quite well as well. APG looking like they might want to win fairly soon. Weibo as well. LGD, BTR. I feel like BTR have a lot more in the tank for today than what we've seen so far from them. So definitely looking for something that will step up and try and kind of challenge Team Spirit.
I mean, the teams that are competing with us right now, they are challenging. We've seen... So let's talk about some of the teams as we have the highlights. Here, I want to say the play that we've seen in this game and in the previous game from the Brazilians in Alpha 7 wiping 2 squads, in Influence Rage wiping 2 squads, phenomenal. Vampire, just to give you a quick rundown, very quiet in day number 2. Very, very quiet, very peaceful day number 2. Getting picked off, not seeing them on the elimination feed unless they're getting taken out. Not seeing a lot of points going their way. Tony K getting caught out in the first game, being the first elim, and also being caught out, I think, halfway through a rotation in the early stages as well. So time and time again, the Vampires seem to be getting caught off. LGD, I have to say also, their positionings and their rotations have been on point within the tournament as well. So far, really enjoying the level of competition that we are seeing from these teams.
I agree. It's been one heck of a day so far, one heck of a day yesterday as well. Just some insane clutches we've been seeing. I mean, even 33, he almost had it. He got 2 knocks there, but Effect was up on the roof and able to just squash that in the bag there. So that was going to be that done and dusted. I do really like the angles that Team Spirit were using, though. They had a really good idea of what was going on at all times. 18 points is going to be their reward for that win. Again, not the most massive win we've seen from any of the teams so far, but a win is a win. 18 points is 18 points, and that gives them that step closer to that number 1 position.
Até depois do meu café é difícil falar comigo.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, hold on. Total damage 2024. I like that number. But guys, it's 2025, just to let you know. You were off by 1. Wait. Yes, I'm horrible with the jokes sometimes, but it's fine.
It's okay.
Looking towards that match ranking after the second game of the day, and our
Oh,
first
no, yeah.
you can see for Goose Eggs, for Voin Donkey, Tianba, Vampire, and Reject, 0 points, and Tianba specifically, second time that this has happened in a row.
Não, super fofa.
Something needs to change for this.
Logicamente, medicada, bêbada ou fumada.
I just don't know. There seems to be a curse, I feel, for regional domination that just will not translate to international or international representation. It just doesn't. It doesn't seem to work. It just doesn't. Look at this, 2 zeros for Vampire in a row.
It's crazy.
2 for Voin Donkey as well.
Actually crazy, yeah. Voin Donkey been huge in their leaderboards as well, but here we go. WBG and Team Spirit here with that back-to-back chicken dinner means they're just 2 points behind, 3 points behind.
Reação saudável, amizade, né? Ela me
They're still ahead.
perturbo ela desde 2018, 2019.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It's 2. It's 2. It's 2.
Wow.
Can't math on stream.
Professional commentator, by the way.
Yeah, not professional mather.
commentator.
Not professional
Yeah, yeah,
mather. I leave that
Yeah,
to
exactly.
the professionals, you know? Yeah.
Honestly, you join us for the memes, for the comedy, for the.
Ela é minha mod já
You do not
6
join
anos.
us for the math. You just simply don't, because it's not our department. But what is
Not
our
gonna
department is reading the numbers that we are given by production,
Yes.
because you see they know us. They know that we just can read the numbers. We can't do the math ourselves. 22 eliminations for Federals and BTR, Top and APG still on the hunt, and so is Nomi and Effect now from Team Spirit. Switching it over to the damage.
Eu que vou pro céu, que até
Still holding
briga
the
da
number one
Nau eu já
spot.
separei.
Will be joining
Dela querer dar porrada em macho escroto
the
embalada.
top 4 as well. So now it's going to be a little bit different. We got 4 players from 4 different teams. Doc has always been here. Nomi has also been present since day 1. I believe Federals came in at the end of day 1 as well.
Yep.
And now we're seeing the surprise from Afu and LGD. But we have finished our second game of the day, boys and girls. We're going to be taking a very short break and come back with game number 3. So don't get anywhere. We'll see you very soon.
Vamos dar uma zoada lá no Caio. Que isso, RJ? É, enfim. Ó, Game Changer do Japão. Cadê, mano? Tem um videozinho pra nós fazer. Ah, não pode, né? Não posso, porque é YouTube. Esqueci que eu tô no YouTube. Bom dia aí, cara. Como é que tá? Tem nem tamanho querendo bater no cara de 2 metros. Porra, tu tem que ver o tamanho da nave, velho. Ela é uma tampinha, viado. É muito engraçado,
O
Mabel.
Order tá sorrindo? Ué, Order.
Oxi,
Não.
cara, impressão minha ou André? Ou o Revo não tá muito bem nesse camp? Não tá, né? A 7 também precisa ir bem pra
tranquilo,
ele
irmãozão,
bem.
graças a
Ele não é um
Deus.
tipo um cara que fica carregando nas costas quando a 7 tá mal. O Revo aparece muito bem quando a 7 tá bem. Ele chegou no end, eles agressivam. E ele é o cara que é agressiva pra 7, entendeu? Nos momentos.
Fala, Lobão.
Ah, não, assim, ó, ontem eu tava jogando com o Sapão, né? Aí eu falei no avião, aí um cara falou, aí, Rod, cara quadrada.
E aí, mano? Vai passando cada coisa, olha. Ele querendo vir pra SP bater em macho escroto também. Então, mano, mas eu não vou ficar sujando minha mão, tá ligado? Apesar que no seu aniversário, quase que eu dei porrada no teu próprio irmão, né? Enfim. Eu saí do Rio pra arrumar confusão no Rio de São Paulo. Como tá o Brasil nesse campo? Cara, atualmente estamos em quinto. Estávamos em quarto, agora caímos pra quinto. E o outro time do Brasil, que é a Alpha 7, tá top 8, top 9. Mabel, não tava nem bebendo cerveja no dia. O irmão dela foi arrumar a graça com uma cerveja que ela pegou e ele achou que eu tinha pego, tá ligado? Porque eu tava indo na geladeira pegar água toda hora. Porque eu bebo muita água natural, tá ligado? Aí ele deu falta da cerveja. Falou que ia cobrar de mim a cerveja. Aí não prestou, velho. Mandei ele enfiar a garrafa toda de cerveja no cu dele. A Nai ficou puta. Quase deu porrada nele também. Resumindo. A festa que era pra ser comemoração de 3 aniversários. A gente não tava falando com um dos aniversariantes. A Nike tava tomando a cerveja dela lá. Eu não gosto nem de beber Budweiser. Porque Budweiser é doce e me dá caganeira, pô. Igual a Antártica. Eu tava só na VOD. Ô, Mabel, isso daí é 1/3 do que aconteceu nessa festa, filho. Se aquela casa falasse, filho. Tava eu, a Nai, a sobrinha dela, o irmão dela, a ex-amiga puta da Nai. Todo mundo fudido. Tem um complicado também. Com todo respeito a Bud, mas nem tem gosto de cerveja. Mano, desde que ela começou a ser fabricada no Brasil pela Kairin, ficou a merda. Na verdade a Bud é pela Coca, né? Junto com a Heineken agora. Ex-amiga puta é foda. Ué, mano. Mas é real, pô. Ela sabia que a menina gostava de mim e ficava rendendo assunto pra mim. Se é que você me entende. A tua sobrinha até hoje vê meus stories, mas eu não falo mais com a tua sobrinha. Desde o dia que ela veio querendo me taxar, querendo andar de maluca pra cima de mim. Mano, sabe qual é o problema da Naya? Que a Naya ajuda muito, velho. Mas ela vai ser recompensada um dia. Mas a Naya é muito coração bom, pô. Eu tenho o mesmo instinto da Nai, mano. Se eu puder ajudar, eu ajudo, viado. Mas não me tira de otário não, mano, que o bagulho fica doido. Não me tira de louco, mano. Eu não gosto. Não aceito, viado. Eu trampo muito, eu corro muito atrás das minhas paradas pra ser tirado de otário, velho. Quando eu tô pobre, tomo Brahma. Quando eu tô rico, tomo Heineken. Mano, sabe uma cerveja que é boa pra vocês tomar, mano? Vocês que gostam de Heineken? Spaten, mano. Spaten, Império. Não sei se em São Paulo é muito conhecida, mas Império Gold é boa. Spaten.
16 teams hopping out of the planes, one right after the other, as the plane will be heading from the north side of Lipavka, halfway between Lipavka and Kameshki, all the way down to south of Primorsk and Ferry Pier. Teams dropping towards the likes of Mili, Novo, Milta, Farm, and Pachinki are going to be having a very, very quick time getting to the ground.
A Nai vira o cão, viado, de vinho. Sai de perto, velho. Nem mulher ela perdoa.
Show yourself. Where will the team's fate be decided in this match now?
É que agora a Nai tá casada.
Of course, let us know, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen in the chat. Who do you think is going to be winning
Seu rabo?
our third game of the
É.
day? And why is it going to be Cole? Yes, that's right. I picked the 16th place team to win this
Vamos,
game.
vamos, começou.
Yes.
Interesting.
Listen. It's not really a it's like straight up. I mean,
Não
I'm
pega a
trying
mulher?
my luck. Just a chance. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they're here, aren't they? They're playing, so it is possible for them to win it.
Guys, eu vou pedir um favor pra vocês.
Checking where they are
Flor da hashtag
positioned,
GoInf aí.
they're over
Hashtag
here. So
GoINF
if they make a western
no chat
rotation,
aí.
it shouldn't be too
Vou mandar uma
bad.
foto aqui pra uma
I would
pessoa.
like them to actually move in through Georgia Pole up to shooting range and go for a complete northern rotation quite quickly. I feel like that would be a really interesting thing for them to do. But we'll see. They need to get looted up first. We can't be going all out just yet. Need a little bit of loot first. And we'll see. But yeah, it is entirely possible for them to do something here with that zone. It's possible. I'll just say it's possible. For me,
Corona é uma cerveja cheia de
who's
química.
gonna
Se
win
vocês
this
soubessem
one?
como é
A7
feito,
been
viu?
looking very, very
É igual
hungry
Coca-Cola.
for
Quem bebe
points.
Coca-Cola, só digo uma coisa. viu?
WBG might do something here. BTR really looking for
Cuidado.
those points as well. So for me, it's between BTR and A7. I feel like.
BTR and A7. Well, okay. Well, right
Oh.
now.
Well,
no. Okay.
Olha o filho da minha amiga, velho, que mora lá no
Well,
Japão.
that's the end of that.
yeah. Huh.
Moving on. LGD just pick up an elimination.
Pode flodar, pode mandar à vontade aí.
And they continue like nothing's happened. DRX just sitting thinking, huh? What happened?
Yeah.
How did we end up here? But hey, look, LGD. They're still continuing. They're still remaining in the top 4. Team Spirit only 2 points now behind that first place spot. Things are heating up bit by bit throughout today's games, and I am absolutely
Valeu.
loving it. I am living for it. Also, we didn't really get a chance to see where the zone positioned itself, but I'm assuming from the likes from what I'm seeing right now, if we're looking at hospital, okay, then we might be seeing the likes of Severny, maybe even Yasnaya. Should be present as well. So should George Pool. Maybe just the eastern side of George Pool.
Mhm.
Oh, they caught him just as he dropped.
That is
Oh,
rough.
That's rough for Hyunbin. honestly.
Yeah. Rip Hungbyun.
Quando é dos outros?
There we go.
Ah, eu sou doido pra meter um
That
boneco,
is
viado.
a really, really rough thing. And we keep
Nossa,
seeing
sou doido
that.
pra ser
Yes,
pai, velho.
last game as well.
Nossa
We saw the
senhora.
exact same thing start to happen, where it's like these drops come down and people are there
Tem
ready
casal de
to take the
pirraio, velho.
prelims as soon as they touch the ground. So unfortunate for DRX here. They did need that player.
É quinta e oitava mesmo,
to
viu?
start the game as a whole squad, especially when you've got 36 points to 39 for reject. You're so close. Another good game's gonna put you firmly in the running, but as 3, they're gonna have to just make do here. We'll see how that goes for them.
Meu Deus, vai ser Mabel.
That's gonna mean that they are set. They are good to go. They have time to loot, time to react, time to plan. So this is a really nice rotation from them. I like it.
Well, let's see if they use that to their advantage, because Void Donkey in the first 2 games.
nem lembro
have
como é que
come out
transa
with
mais, velho.
0 points so far.
Já faz 84
They're in
anos.
desperate need of something, because right now the difference between them and 13th is 12 points. And then moving from 13th to 12th, it's going to be another 6. And there's less difference between.
Mano, o estilo de jogo dos asiáticos é muito avançado, mano. É muito rotação, velho. Os caras farma rápido e sai correndo pro jogo. Vocês combinaram? Porque é isso. Você tá louco, né? É difícil eu ter interesse em alguém. Quando eu tenho interesse, a pessoa não tá nem aí. Por isso que eu tô focado nos trampos, velho. Que aí se eu não tiver um amor, eu tenho dinheiro. E eu tendo dinheiro, eu chamo meus amigos pra sair, a gente come, se diverte.
Particularly nice for either of these teams, and I think Rejects know that. Divine's gonna try and grab a nade, but the rest of his team looks to be getting out of dodge. That nade's just to make sure nobody comes over there as they try and make their escape. Duello trying to back up his teammate. The rest of the squad gonna be moving over into Rozhawk itself. a much better position here, I feel like. I'm not sure why Divine's taking so long. He's kind of like, I really want this.
Ah, o Reject bateu e vai embora.
There we go. Now he's able to get out of dodge, get away. His teammate will do the same. Duello gonna be moving on back. And that is gonna be Rejects disengaging completely from.
Aí lá, mano, faz o boneco pegando Quer. Você fazer isso aí não, velho. Nem transe. Acabei de falar, velho.
See if that's the choice that they're going to be making. Switching over now to Tianba, who have also had a very, very difficult time throughout this tournament. 15 points in 8 games? Yeah, 15 points in 8 games, averaging 2 per game. That is not something that we expected to see out from the likes of Tianba. But the thing is, I want to say in these kinds of tournaments, the players, the teams that have a lot of
Sabadão, né, guys? Aí, lá, ó. 58 pontos.
Those are the ones that it either makes you or breaks you, I feel, as a player and as a team. You're either going to make it, you're going to be top 2 on top of the world, destroying everyone, or that pressure.
Ela gosta de ficar me dando sem graça. Você vai dar munição pra ela, você vai me lascar, velho.
Yeah. It really is. Well, it can go either way. That's what my brain was trying to say. My goodness me. Anyway, it's fine, guys. It's fine. We move on. It could go either which way. That's really what separates kind of the top teams from teams that are still trying to get that experience and trying to learn a little bit more.
Ó, a Influence Rate tá com 58 pontos, guys. A Weibo tá com 81, mano. A gente já tá numa distância de 23 pontos. Tem que diminuir, tem que cortar essa distância hoje, viu? Tá ligado? 23 pontos, mano. Tem que ganhar uma win ou 2 win e eles indo muito mal, velho. Mas tem mais 4 quedas hoje. Vai dar bom. Moleque, a gente mora uma cidade de distância aí, cara.
To get into a central location in the zone. Let's see if they manage to do that, because all the other teams now are starting to make their move, are starting to rotate. Doc!
Isso não é nada pra quem quer de verdade.
He was cooking until he wasn't. Goodness me.
Pior que eu não posso falar nada, viu?
The rest of his team gonna be following in pursuit potentially here, but now that Doc is already gone, I feel like in some ways it would be a mistake to try and make that push, especially with LGD. They got that 2-2 split either side of the river.
Calma aí, cara.
Now going up against Tianba, Osal getting taken out there, getting knocked down by Tianba instead. So there's a little bit of a trade going on, but that's gonna be the flush. Who we got over here? Maybe going up against
difícil. Me respeite, viu, Nai? Você sabe que eu sou todo sequelado da cabeça.
Oh, and he's good. He's bringing it back.
Nossa, nossa, mano.
Milu, I'm sorry.
Nossa senhora,
can he
velho.
get the 1v3? If he gets the 1v3 here, DK, I don't know what to say. PMGC champions get 1v3 by Milu, who naded himself in the last game. Would be crazy. Crazy turn of events. Crazy turnaround from game to game. Oh, and that nade looks good. Does get a little bit of that damage going. Can he get the second? No. Milu cannot either. Chips.
Are you kidding me?
Chips. Coming in with the 1v2. Oh my goodness.
Madness. Wow, he was able to turn that around to take down the 2.
O cara entrou no... Que isso, mano.
You built up Milu so much.
I mean,
that's honestly that's heartbreaking.
It is.
Gut-wrenching, back-breaking fight for Tianba. It looked so good.
Rapaz, se eu não casar até os 30, eu já tenho um plano B, filho.
3 players on his own and then going for the 4th. That hurts me. That makes me feel physical pain.
Yeah.
Eu já me elogiei por muito menos. Ih, cara, ilusão é comigo mesmo, velho.
Really nice work coming in from him. I'm not gonna say anything. I know, I was building him up. Can he turn it around? I was building the story, bro. I was building the story.
Why'd you have to remind them, though?
I didn't. It's fine.
Listen,
Anyway.
someone did.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. DRX actually trying to stop that one remaining player of APG. Well, actually, APG are a duo, but I only see Top there. The other one is on the other side of the river still. Top did manage to escape LGD. LGD were really looking for those points, but
Nossa, muito dano que esse Xai tomou, velho.
Ziol taking some shots over onto DRX now. They're going to be pushed back a little bit. That might just leave room for APG. Actually, they're rotating very far back, trying to get that off angle, trying to get that high ground going. But that might just be the room that APG needs to regroup and get into zone as fast as they can.
Uma Uruguaia?
Are they gonna be able to do that though? Is the question. We see the zone shifting towards.
Viado, se eu não tivesse sido otário, eu tava casado hoje em dia, esse pá, velho. Mas eu fui otário. Há 5 anos atrás. Mano, tem uma centralizada na safe lá, velho. Mano, eles não filmam a inf, né, mano? De jeito nenhum, viado.
I'd like to think hopefully a little bit more than a little.
Sure. Anyway, moving over to CD Alliance, another team that really needs the points. You picked them for the win here, right? You want them to win. I feel like they've got a good entrance into zone here. They are up against KN here. Could be a difficult positioning for them, but we'll see. Oh no, that was DRX up against KN, yeah.
Eu cheguei a casar com o Mineirinho, agora tô
But Team Spirit looking
com 5
to
vezes
move
mais traumas.
across the river over up to the north side of Rostock. They do end up doing it, and it is going to be VPE versus A7. A7, I feel like, could
Passa alguém
win
perto
this
e dá
game
oi, ele já tá
win
chegando a
this
casar?
altercation here. Schweppes does go
Não,
down.
pá.
Mafioso now on point there with a double knock. Coming on in across the way.
Viado,
Can they
eu
do it?
comecei
Yes,
um
they
rolo
can.
porque a
very
pessoa me chamou de vida,
easy.
mano. Eu fui em São Paulo ver a
Easy
pessoa porque a
sweep
pessoa me
for
chamou de
A7.
vida.
This is why I think they're looking good for a win. The way that they're just cleaning
Ninguém é mais
up these
emocionado
teams
que eu
in
não,
less
filha.
than
Por isso que eu me
10
travo
seconds.
com tudo
No
mesmo.
knocks at all is looking very good for them. Actually, A7 2v4'd that because they are a duo right now. I don't know where they lost players, but they
Viado, olha
2v4'd
isso
that.
aqui, olha essa jogada.
Yes, come on producers, give us this replay. I love to see it. Nordbu going on down.
Olha o
That
chips,
was a
mano.
1v3 by Milu. But Chips bringing it back. Bringing it back, baby. PMGC for a reason.
Yeah, this is just look at the HP, 0 HP.
Bonk.
Olha isso, velho.
Bonk.
Bonk and my god.
Yeah,
I mean
so
honestly,
nice.
I gotta clap for that. That was sensational.
Standing ovation. Oh, Top. Oh, just a little overcooked. That's so sad. But Top gets taken out in return, and that's going to be the end of APG now. Team Spirit rolling through CD Alliance, trying to find any sort of
Mano,
knocks that
olha
we
o
can
calo.
here. There we go. That's going to be Cluck taken on out here. But that's about it. That's the only elim that they find. As we move on into
Mano,
zone, and
olha
you
a
said
quanta
about
gente entrando na
Thundertalk
safe
and their
agora, velho.
quadrant over here, you're right. If Thundertalk can just rotate a little bit, get a little bit closer together, tighten up that split, they're looking very good for that next zone.
Já beberam água?
Yeah, right now it's phenomenal position for them. Just gotta make sure they work that area now.
Caiu 2 já, mano.
Completely, it seems.
Mano, não tela nunca inf, mano.
Now Cole, if not on his own against Julo and the Apollo, Nate comes in, gets the knock and
Ah, eu me iludi porque deram brecha.
and reject, cleaning up their first
Ui, cara, é
elimination.
diferente, tá ligado?
Gets knocked and gets eliminated as
E tava
well.
tudo na minha cabeça. Pô, Lobão, dá uma chance, Lobão. Se dá uma chance de conhecer alguém, Lobão. Não sei o que, sei que lá, Lobão. Aí eu fui, né?
Looks like they'll be able to get the revive, no problem. Leon will be followed up as well. He hits the ground, and Cole left with one player alive at this point. And LGD consistently putting up good numbers throughout this tournament so far. Very happy with the performance that this BEL representative has been able to show.
Aí eu fui, né?
Showing us that, you know, their best years aren't behind
Já sabe, né?
just yet. There's more to
É isso aí
come this
mesmo.
year from the Indonesian representative in BTR Vitality.
Que isso, mano. Aqui, mano, tá vendo? A cadência de disparos da M4 é muito maior do que a da AKM, tá ligado? Porém a AKM, ela tem o dobro de dano massivo, tá ligado?
Where's the rest of that squad though? There they are in that vehicle just rolling on past. That's CDAL. Unable to do anything except run away. What can you do? There's no way you're going to be able to get that revive up at all. Potato is going to go down as well. And, oh, Zeta gets found out. I think that might have been DK actually moving up and taking that vehicle from them. But now, again, these two teams going to be clashing here. Afu does go down. Team Spirit takes him out. Nomi could go down very quickly, though. That is going to be the finish if they can get it. No, they can't. Tian needs to go for that finish. Gets effect, but gets taken out himself. It's neck and neck here. Kitsune next on the board. Takes one. Gets that finish. Gets that Elam. Takes out Ling. And that is it. A full reset for Team Spirit. Unless Osal has anything to say about it. That does go down here. Noble with the nade. Could be huge. Doesn't do much. Nobody does get taken out there. Oh, that is a shame for Team Spirit because that could have been such a great full reset. What a way to start off game number 3, but nope. DK gonna have something to say about it. DRX getting wiped from the lobby so quickly there. They thought it was over.
Quer me deixar sem graça, você, seu demônio. 8 horas da manhã vocês falam de...
Yeah, finally showing some signs of life in this game. Yes, I know they have 13 so far, but they're in 13th place.
Divine?
You need to do a lot more if you want to get yourself to that top 5, but we'll leave that for later as now Divine and Reject are going to be pulling up towards Team Spirit in the 4v2 situation. Team Spirit, we know what they can do. They are able to take this fight. They just need to find themselves an opening. They need to find themselves the first knock. Give themselves a little bit of time because they're outside the zone or get a knock on one of the people that is pushing them. Not able to. Now, Reject getting closer and closer for this push. Team Spirit, there's no opportunity for them to get in the vehicle and run away. Because all the other squads are waiting for them. Knock from Apollo signals the push for the rest of squad of Reject. You can see they're already getting in the cars. There's no need to provide cover as Matic is going to be on his own. Smoke on the left side. Just to delay the vision. Oh, Matic! Whoa!
Nossa, mano.
Okay, Julo's like,
Depois me perde pro vizinho dele e fiquei falando, mas vai só dar bola pra influenciador grande? Não, falei que você gosta de criador de conteúdo grande.
Finishes it off. D plus Kia with 9 eliminations. Nolbu, who's on his own, I think a little bit too far though. Yeah. Should be going back because if he gets knocked, there's no way in hell he's going to be able to get revived. It's going to be very difficult.
Ah, mas Bela tem queda por carecas, rapaziada. Essa é a true.
Fight from all of these teams. I like that Noble being very respectful here, looking for that scout, looking for that opportunity, but he's really not wanting to move up too close and get taken out too early here. Team Spirit played that very well, but you know that was really well timed from Rejects. There was nothing they could really do about that. So that is Team Spirit with a valiant effort. They go out, but it's one of those things where it's not a mistake. It's just how the game shapes up. Rejects timed that to perfection. Really easy few elims picked up by them. Still up as a full squad. That's what you want to see coming into the top 8, top 7, end game or end zone. Last few zones, you want to see that kind of...
Gosta de calvo? Gosta.
Now with this nade, they know that somebody's here.
Vou te mandar no privado, Nike, quem ela, de quem que eu tô falando que ela gosta de calvo. Pode contar, Mabel, pra ela?
Something that they claim to be luck. I think it is skill and they are just humble.
I agree 100%. Tomorrow it does go on down there. Ozzy-san.
Porra, Jason mamou.
Olha
o desnutrido, viado. Olha isso.
Especially with that off angle, it just means that
olha minha cara.
They can't do anything here. They really can't peek over that ridge or
anything. Você tá doido?
Have to fall back on this one, but no.
Não é segredo mais pra ninguém.
They don't want to lose this fight. They need this position.
Quem não gosta de Jason Momoa? Eu não gosto, graças a Deus.
Noble is down. They're gonna Osal very close to being down as well there with that mini, but that's not gonna be the end just yet. They're gonna fall back, reset.
Jason Momoa é o do Aquaman, né?
Have a really good side of zone here. 3 eliminations, not the biggest we've seen from them. Not the biggest we've seen at all here, certainly.
Infelizmente, é top 8, velho.
Tá
vendo? Vocês desviaram meu olhar, viado. Nem vi minha inf morrer, velho.
Thundertalk throwing a couple of smokes to get them some cover, but it does not stop bullets. Now they're trying to see if they can finish this fight. The longer it goes on for it, the worse it gets. Weibo, my lord.
Yeah, baby.
Position is just
Então, careca,
the best possible
careca branco
position you can ask
desnutrido.
for. One of the only
Desses.
compounds, if not the only compound in the zone at the moment. If they hold their ground, they will be able to maintain that first place. And look at that now. Please, that's it. Getting the knock onto Mark. Securing that 5th elimination for Weibo. It's not really a compound. It's more of a small house. Bigger than a shack.
Caralho, a Naim me humilhou, viado.
We'll get back to that position later, as now BTR will be moving from the northern side. Kinotrope was eliminated, and D plus Kia decide to full send. They want this fight.
Pô, mas papo reto, né?
Knock onto AJ maybe, but he does turn it
Quando o
around.
pai
He
pega,
gets the
o pai pega, velho.
and all of a sudden it's Tianyu on his own, the Nolbu.
Quem já pegou não tem do que reclamar, viu? Nem do beijo. Teve gente que conseguiu algo a mais também, não reclama. Caralho, fudeu, agora eu não tô ardendo pra melhor, velho. Que isso, cara? Que isso, velho? Ó, o Rei D, velho.
No! They're still fighting. There
Now
we
they
go.
are.
That's the last nade. The last nade to just take him out. But Sandstorm, what does this mean for WBG? Because they're the
Foi mal
only
aí.
team that
Achei que
didn't
na
go,
nossa
because
ainda
they
podia
know
falar
there's
de
a big
verdade
fight
assim na
happening
cara
on
mesmo,
the
que
Rejects.
isso.
They
Infelizmente eu
are.
só
They
beijei.
are. This is
Queria
like
mais.
ninjas.
Ele
And
dizia nada.
into them. Rejects, I mean, they do actually disengage immediately here really nicely.
Tudo
played, but
mimimi
Rejects
isso aí?
does get drawn into
É
a
mimimi,
fight
Nai?
they don't need. But BTR now know exactly where they are. They put themselves into a corner of the zone they didn't want to be in, and WBG now have full control of this zone. Not like last game, where they had control, they had the zone, but not the control of it. This terrain gives them so much control over the rest of the other teams. And that's gonna be Divine going on
Viado,
down.
eu tava
It's
com
just
medo.
Ray G left. Can he do something? He steps up. No, he cannot. Order gets the job done. 7
Doideira.
eliminations for WBG.
Ah,
and
mano,
now
se a Weibo
it's just
ganhar
them
isso aqui
and
vai dar merda, velho.
BTR, a 2v4. BTR could still win this.
Vai
but
abrir papo de
WBG, they
50
have the
pontos na
control.
frente, velho.
They really do, and BTR, I mean, they have the control, they have the numbers, they have everything. They've seen Team Spirit come out with a back-to-back chicken
Vai abrir
dinner
papo de
and challenge for that first
50
place
pontos
spot.
na frente.
And this is the response from Weibo. Quite possibly
Eu
a
não tô
chicken
vermelho,
dinner
pô. Isso aqui é o sol.
of their own. Might not be the juiciest or the spiciest chicken dinners, but it's going to end up with 9 eliminations if they secure those last 2 of BTR. And it's 19 points that are going to catapult them over the 100-point mark in the end of the 9th game. They're averaging around 10 to 11 points per game. Weibo wants this title. They need this title. And I don't think they're going to give it any kind of chance for BTR to get this chicken dinner. They're not being so aggressive. They're not giving them the fight. They still have players in control of the zone, Nep. Except that. They don't have that. They don't have Sook anymore.
They don't have Sook. He keeps getting taken out before he can use his explosive bow, Sandstorm. It's such a shame. But Razy is just gonna fall back. Doesn't get knocked just yet, but now the zone has just decided, you know what, BTR, this game isn't for you. You got 2nd place. That's all you can do. Unless you can pull something out of the hat. That is super magical. Hang on, 33. Does go on down. That's the off angle taken out by WBG, but
Nossa,
Razy
Federal,
goes
véi.
down here. Federals might just be the next to fall, especially with that P90 in tow. That's 2 down for WBG. Now, where do BTR go with this? I mean, they have to get that reset, but is there going to be anything they can do? Great Molotov. Hang on
Nossa,
here. Hang
mano.
on.
No. Weibo, what doing? I mean, look. Relax. It's all fine. They still have the zone. They still have the, well, they may not have the, they still do have the numbers, okay?
They still have the numbers.
They are up against Federals in the MVP, but it is going to be a 3v1. They should be able to get the revive onto Sook, unless this nade gets the knock onto both. Nope. Overcooked on that front. Just heat everything you got. Throw it all. And still wait. Weibo are like, you know what? It doesn't matter. We have the advantage finally. Zook pulls up one more time. Federals gets the knock up to the first one, switches up, and now it's going to be Order with that
Nossa, velho.
B90. Absolutely shreds him. There it is, finally. It was made incredibly difficult, but Weibo still secure their chicken dinner, and they will hold on to that number 1 spot.
Jeez. That was touch and go for a second, but they brought it back.
was.
That's exactly what they wanted to see. Yeah, that was ooh. Federals, man, what a player he's been so far today. Like, what a player. He really went and looked at a 2v4 at a 1v3 and went, I can do this. And he nearly did it as well, but WBG gonna be able to clutch it back up. That zone control, that positioning just was gonna do the work in the end. Really, really good stuff, and yeah, they're back on top now. They maintained their leaderboard position. If you saw in the middle of the game, Team Spirit were on top. They surpassed WBG. Not anymore. They are back on top, baby. They are ready to go. Next game's gonna be one more Erangel. Can they do something to even further that gap?
Right now, their goal is to just hold on to it because they saw the massive threat that was Team Spirit in the first 2 games of the day and realized, okay, it's not going to be as easy as we thought it was to hold on to this lead. So, boys, let's step it up a little bit. And boy, they did in this game. Almost threw it, almost. But they caught it in the end. They didn't allow the game to run away or get out of their hands. They were able to get those 9 eliminations. But I guess we saw the amount of respect that Weibo was giving to Federals at the end of that fight as well. Like, they weren't just pushing him out.
Cara,
there,
que
but
jogo
they were
difícil do
trying, they were
caralho,
trying.
hein?
He just made it incredibly difficult for them to pull up to him.
He really, really did. He knows his angles. He knows his nades. I love watching him so much. Oh, what a team. What a player. What a team coming in here. And this is why I keep saying I think today you can always feel a vibe off of a team when they're looking for a win. They're hungry for it. They want it, but they're just not quite getting there. And I think for BTR today especially, I feel that in them, that they're wanting that win. They almost had it in this game. Next game is another Erangel. If Erangel is where they really want to get it, then they have one more opportunity coming up. They absolutely could do something with this Sandstorm.
They really could. They just have to make sure that they don't really make the mistakes that we've seen from other teams. I want to say, for example, specifically that one. That's just an early mistake. So something like that costs you rotations, that costs you ability to gather information. A loss like that so early in the game. And I think on some level, it may just demoralize the players slightly. I say slightly, not too much. Because it's just, well, from the beginning of the game, it's already going bad. We already lost X player or Y player. So we already have to adapt. We're already at a disadvantage.
Nossa
The mind
senhora.
games, the mental game is something that we have to be weary of in those kinds of games. And in these kinds of tournaments at this level, for sure.
I will also just point out, though, is that we're starting to see the gap widen amongst these teams.
That we are.
We are. And in that game, WBG up to 85 plus
Nossa, é verdade, a de
whereas
plus
7th
que eu,
place,
hein?
8th place, 6th place even, are still in the 40-point range. So we went from everybody being in the same 10, 15, maybe even 20-point difference to now WBG, Team Spirit, I'm not sure who is 3rd place right now, but those top 3 kind of being 40 points away from the rest of the lobby. So there really is this shift away from it being so close. We might end up having a top-heavy leaderboard after all.
And Weibo with that chicken dinner, I want to say we've seen the chicken dinners in the past day and a half, I want to say. This may be one of the lowest ones in terms of damage.
Yep.
Maybe?
Yeah, true, actually. That is. They really kept to themselves in this one. They focused on zone control, focused on getting to that position where they could actually do something. So 9 elims, not bad, obviously, but yeah, it's some crazy stuff coming in there damage-wise, you're right.
And regarding the match ranking, let's see how that's going to impact the overall ranking once the game is done. But the scoreboard very close for those first 4 teams. 19 for Weibo, 16 for D plus Kia. With those 12 eliminations, they secured 10 as well
Difícil,
for
viu?
reject. Exceptionally top heavy end in this game. Spirit with 6 eliminations in that game as well. So they were still trying to remain close to Weibo. But I do love this response from Weibo to Spirit. It's like, Spirit gets 2 chicken dinners. Weibo's like, all right, calm down. We're still here. we're still playing. Yeah, it's our turn to get the chicken dinner.
Yep.
And one thing I really like about the graphic that we have and the way they outline it is it gives us so much to work with in terms of look at day 1 and what they were able to do, and look at day 2 now. For example, 3 games for Tianba and 1 point only.
Wow. Yeah, it's a rough place to be in. Here we go. WBG, they have grabbed 100 points on the board. That is nearly 50 points in 3 games that they have secured for themselves. Look at match 1 to 6, 58 points on the board. Now we're at 100. WBG, and of course Order gonna be your MVP. So cool to see him back on that MVP list.
É o Order, né, mano? Não tem jeito.
654 damage, 56% team contribution. He was really stepping it up for his team.
He really was. The question is, will he be able to get to that top 4 in damage or eliminations? Not eliminations yet, as Federals is on to 25. Beast, monster, godlike from Federals. I don't know what else to say. Again, look at the 1v4 situation he was in and how scared it felt like Weibo was stepping up to him. 4,800 damage. 1.3k more damage than second place at the moment in No Me from Team Spirit. Doc and Afu are still there with their 3.5k for Doc and 3.3 for Afu respectively. Incredible performance from these players, and I can't wait to see what happens in the second half of today's game. So we have 1 more Erangel to wrap up that map, and then we're going to have 2 Miramars to see what happens at the end of day 2. And don't forget, it is going to be points from day 1 and 2 for that first place plus 30, and that is the threshold. For now, we're going to be taking a short break before we jump into our 4th match.
Difícil, viu, tropa? Cara, o que tá aparecendo de gente pedindo conta na Sporting Bet, velho. É só Austrália nos meus stories, viado. Deus o livre. Cara, espero que eu não esteja tomando copy nos bagulho, né, velho? Tem até que ver aqui na postagem do vídeo de ontem. Mas acho que eu não tomei, não. Mano, falta... Bom dia, jornada. Fala comigo, irmão. Como é que você tá? Preciso bater 600 horas de exibição. Tem que fazer mais horas de live aqui. Não começa, né, velho? Tudo ótimo, graças a Deus. Com você?
Vou nada. Vou nada. Vou nada. Vou nada.
Nossa! Cê é louco, não... Nossa!
Como tá o time brasileiro? Tamo tentando, velho. Tamo tentando, tá devagarzinho. O Weibo já mandou mais uma win. Deixa eu te mostrar a tabela aqui. O Facete em top 9. O Weibo tá com 100 pontos, mano. Abriu 41 pontos na frente.
And here we go.
41 pontos, mano.
100.
41 pontos, mano.
Você é louco? Quando eu tava comendo lá na família lá, eu fui dormir às 6 horas da manhã. Acordei era 1 hora, cuzão. Acordei não, dormi 1 hora. Aí eu biquei pra cá.
Tá feio, velho.
gente só usa músculo, tem bastante proteína, é uma carne gostosa e muito mais barata que patinho. Eu como peito de frango porque tem pouca gordura e muita proteína. Olha só, já eu como fígado mesmo porque é muito nutritivo, é fonte de ferro, uma boa fonte de proteína e é muito mais barato que frango, né? Eu amo potágio porque ele tem pouca gordura, pouca caloria e é uma ótima opção de proteína. Já eu prefiro requeijão light, porque além de ter pouca caloria e pouca gordura, é muito mais barato que potágio. Eu tomo pré-treino antes de malhar porque ele me deixa menos fadigada, mais disposta e com muito mais força. Olha, já eu tomo cafeína porque melhora minha performance no treino, me dá energia e melhora meu foco, além de ser bem mais barato. E como você consegue economizar sem fazendo dieta? Eu sigo a Nutri Camila Magalhães no Instagram. Beijo. Eu só como carne moída de patinho porque tem muita proteína e pouca gordura.
Enquanto você ainda tá pensando em como chamar a galera pro seu evento, o Tomazone já botou meio mundo pra dançar. Esse é o Tomazone, o RP que já fez evento pra Heineken, Jeep, McDonald's, Chandon Fora.
Tá difícil, velho. Não começa esse jogo, mano. Não começa esse jogo de jeito nenhum, velho. É, viado. Foda, viu? Como que mantém público com essa porra 10 anos aqui, pai? Atrapalhar. Igualmente. O que tá conectando no trevo, velho?
We continue with our second half of the games, with our second day of the competition for the PUBG Mobile Hong Kong Invitational. Weibo are being pushed to their limit. With a back-to-back chicken dinner in our first two games by Team Spirit, they had the opportunity to take away that first place spot. But looks like Weibo are not going down without a fight, and they got themselves the third game of the day, and they have finally broken the 100-point barrier. They have built themselves quite a decent lead in front of the other teams. What will they be able to do in this one? Can they build up on that lead, or will the other squads catch up now? As we are entering our final Erangel map of the day.
I mean, we're not only in our last game,
Cara,
last
que
Erangel of the
difícil,
day,
velho.
but halfway point of day 2 right now.
Bora, pelo
So
amor de Deus, Inf.
not only are we starting to see teams do what they can, we're also getting that much closer. And oh my goodness, that zone! But we're getting that much closer to knowing what the point threshold is going to be for day number 2. Who's going to be in that smash zone? Remember, it is the top 1 position, the first place team's points plus 30. So if WBG, for instance, top the leaderboard at the end of the
Tem
day
carro ali
with
atrás, velho.
130 points, they have to reach
E
160 tomorrow before they can start getting those wins, working towards those wins to actually get into a win and become champion. So not only is there a huge road ahead for them today, there's a road ahead tomorrow. It's not just everything count for
Senhora de
first
Deus.
match and vampires
tava atrasado,
wanting
hein?
to move in, trying to get that one solo player, can't manage to do it. They've run out of ammo now, so they've lost their chance there. Can Finale gonna be very, very happy with that. Oh, and it lands it. Finale with the flare.
Style points.
Woo!
10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, I'm giving you that. Well played, Finale. We take those. That was
GG.
phenomenal.
That was awesome. Shut it all down now. We've got our play of the day.
Yeah, we've got our highlight reel set up now. That's it. We're done. GG, go next.
Very nicely done. Very cool stuff to see indeed. But yeah, the halfway point of today means a lot of these teams, if you're not, I almost want to say if you're not in the top 3, top 2 even, you're kind of starting to worry a little bit because we are seeing a little bit of a gap going on here. No longer are we 10 points between 2nd place and 7th. It's more like 30 points now. You've got WBG at 100, a big gap there between them and Team Spirit at 85. BTR and Team Spirit still fairly close, but then again you got LGD at 64, 59, 57, 55. That's still very close, but that top 3 really starting to pull away from everybody else. So hitting the halfway point today, 4th and down are starting to panic a little bit.
The thing is, you can't let that panic set in. The second it does, you start to question every single decision you are making. And then you spend more time in your head than in the actual game, and next thing you know, you've been eliminated, no points to gain.
Difícil, hein,
Don't really
mano?
be putting yourself in that situation. DRX doing a little bit of scouting. They see Razak from Donkey. There's only an iron sight on that, so Razak is able to just kind of dodge away from that. Things remain calm for now, but it won't be that calm for that much longer.
No. Not with this zone.
Colocaram mais baixo, hein?
It's a similar zone that we saw from the last game as well. It's gone up to the northern side, it's gone up to Severny. Donkey again gonna be in a great position in this zone. A7 as well, actually, moving on up to North George. So that's going to be them looking very good, kind of out of the way, not in the middle of all the stuff that's going to be happening down to the south side. Remember, you've got a lot of teams that are outside the zone on that south side. You've got BTR, you've got Tianba, you've got Team Spirit, you've got CDAL Alliance, EPG and Thundertalk Gaming all outside the zone. Rejects as well, I think. So a lot of those teams are going to be moving onto that southern side. You're going to see a lot of clashes, a lot of fights happening. So for the teams that are on the north side, that means that it's automatic placement, or automatic better placement than if you're on the south side.
I agree. I like that. You think they're going to do it, though? Are they going to be able to pull it off?
A7? Yeah, they could. They could do
Here's
it.
the thing. A7 have had a strong start with the chicken dinner and Sandhawk on day 1. They've had a couple of good fights in a few of the other games throughout day 1, and then after that, they were in top 5 contending with the best teams. Now they're all the way in 9. Yes, I know the gap between 5th and 9th point. Still, it's just one more thing that's on your mind, because now you're thinking about jumping from 9 to 5th as the first thing, and then to 5th to first. Okay, no, 9 to the first, it's 47 points. And think there's still 30 points on top of it that will get added.
Yeah.
And then you have to cross that and then get a chicken dinner. It may have not matches, but that means that the team that crosses the threshold will fail every single matches.
No, exactly right. Especially when we're seeing the kind of performances we're seeing from the top 3, from the top 4, right? They're consistently good every single time. Now, that could easily change. Once you hit that point threshold, teams are going to start looking at you a little bit more. They're going to try and thwart your rotations. You might even see a hot drop from some of the lower placed teams, but it is very, very likely that a WBG, a Team Spirit, a BTR, LGD, whoever, is going to be able to clutch it and win via smash rules. So for those teams that are outside of that, who need those points to keep up with that top 3, that top 4, yeah, it's looking a little bit scary for you guys. So A7, they need a win in this game, I feel like, to have that momentum for the next 2 games as well. It's the same with Rejects, it's the same with APG, same with Vampires as well. Vampires have not lost a player on landing in this game, so you know what, we'll take the win.
See if they do. Reject. They're going to be holding down the fort here. This compound is theirs. APG, another one of the teams that's been very quiet, and one of the things I did mention about APG is like, hey, they're one of the teams that's being told, hey, you will win this tournament. Like, this tournament is yours. And I said it's going to either make them or break them. It's either going to help them perform, or it's going to be too much pressure, and then they're going to crash. And it seems that what happened in PMGO 4, the same lineup that's technically not the whole lineup, but the majority of the players in Top Doc and Zeol. And just thinking about it, it's once again another one of those situations where the pressure feels like it gets to them, and then they're not able to perform to the level that everyone sees. And it's just, again, regional dominance does unfortunately does not always transfer to the international stage.
I mean, it goes both ways though as well. Team Spirit are renowned global team, but they can't seem to get those same sort of points, those same sort of results in a regional lobby. It's very odd how they're just unable to sort of adapt to their local metas, to their local teams, but they come out onto the world stage and they are back-to-back chicken dinners all of a sudden, right? Just last week was PMSL CSA. They didn't get anywhere near the top 3. And here they are in 2nd place, ahead, miles ahead of a lot of the rest of the lobby here. So it's like, it's a very strange thing how some of these teams' dynamics just end up being that way, where they have this strength and they have this weakness, and it really messes their season up.
Yeah, and you can't be having that, especially with a few weeks from another global tournament in the PUBG Mobile World Cup.
Cara, uma safe muito favorável pra 7 pra Inf.
Some of these teams are going to be participating in that tournament. So it's very good practice for them to be playing against some competitors and just some other very talented and strong teams.
Oh, hang on. BTR, again, looking for those points. They're in 3rd place, 78 points on the board.
Oh,
now 79. It is always Federals. You always have to watch out. Federals is always going to be somewhere in your vicinity. Sitar, try to evade some trees here. 101 on how not to drive. And moving in through the blue zone, right? We got a late rotation coming in from BTR. If I can see correctly, where did BTR come in from? BTR came in from past Yasnaya, past Mansion, so probably Lipovka's or Shelters where they were situated, where they dropped. So they've got a long rotation ahead of them, but I was going to say a fairly easy rotation into zone, but no, WBG all over that north side, so it's going to be a difficult spot for them to get in. You can see them here now in a big 2-2 split. One outside Severny, the other closer to the lake area. So we'll see.
Nossa senhora.
Fight here. Ling goes down. LGD lose one to Vampire. So that's LGD down to a trio. Schweb's able to heal back on up because these guys are out in the zone. You do not want that. Tian just going to be moving on out.
Not
I
for
think
long
there's
anyways.
no point. There's no point in taking this fight.
I agree, but it seems that they do not. They set their sights onto Tian, and they want that point. They want that elim. No, Tony K. Hold on, Schweppes might be able to get Tian. Goal! A little bit of just a couple of bullets. That's it. That's all you need. Tian. Lovely rotation to be able to make it out of there alive. It will take them a little bit of time to get to the zone, but they should be able to nonetheless. Weibu focusing on the northern side of the zone. Alpha 7 also going to be coming in from the likes of shooting range towards that northern side. Will be coming up from behind Weibu. Curious to see how that fight's going to go, especially with first place team being involved in this fight. Team Spirit and DRX along with Voin Donkey in two buildings next to each other. Oh baby, this is going to be spicy as Potato drops down.
Mano, essa é a quinta queda, velho. Essa é a quinta queda.
Guys, gentleman's agreement. How about that? Gentleman's agreement? Do we agree on it? I'm not sure. Potato, there's too many angles for him to watch out for. What? Is he gonna be able to get at least like one knock?
Acho que é a quinta queda ou quarta queda.
Jump out the window, goes down to the lower floor. I believe the players from DRX are perfectly capable of seeing him at the moment. Point Donkey though, Razak jumps into the fight alongside.
Mano, o problema é que os caras não tá telando BR, mano. Os caras tá telando só os caras de lá.
As Hyunbin is knocked, it doesn't mean that he can't fight, but he will finally go down, and it is going to be Point Donkey who wins that skirmish, but we are not done just yet as Team Spirit are also involved in this fight, and a nade dropped right next to Matic. Will be able to take him down, and all of a sudden Nomi is the last one left alive from Team Spirit. Weibu stole the elimination onto Matic and Kitsune. They took them away from Point Donkey, every single point.
Não limpou o pixel.
And now Nomi just gets 1% entering right into the building. Will go for a trade, but he was the last alive, so he will not survive. And Potato will keep on keeping on with the rest of his squad, and Point Donkey finally getting a decent amount of points in one game. Can they combine those 5 eliminations with placement points?
Spirit have to be careful. You don't want to overdo it. They've had a really good run so far. Yeah, it's fine. They can have a 0-point game, but it's fine, right? In a day. But Team Spirit can't get ahead of themselves. They can't be going too crazy now. They've got those points. They've got where they want to be. Now they just need to maintain. They need to play it carefully. Not necessarily safely, but play it carefully, right? BTR now under fire potentially here. Maybe not quite. Afu preferring life, I think, to trying and getting a shot there. He's going to just wait for his team, hold on to this position. BTR in a great little spot now. Sitar checking that off angle, checking the backside to make sure that nobody's coming up behind them. But Sandstorm, APG have full control of Rosshawk. Really, really interesting decision by everybody to move on up, and that puts APG in such a nice position here. Goodness me.
Listen. Having the position is one thing, but if they're able to hold on to it, they could benefit massively from it. Let's see if they will do that. BTR now. Full squad, 4 are still alive. They only have 1 elimination, but with Team Spirit out for the count in this game, not being able to get any points added to their tally, that means there's a chance for BTR, LGD, and the other teams to get closer to Team Spirit. But that also means that for Weibo Games, build an even bigger cushion, which could pose a problem. It could be a big problem.
Could be a massive problem. I mean, for BTR and LGD, Team Spirit going out was the best thing that could have happened. Yes, WBG aren't out anytime soon, probably not. But if they can grab a couple extra points, close that gap. If Team Spirit are out, that means they can't have a good game like they have been having. So there's big potential here for both of those teams to step up, close that gap, and be in contention for that top 2 position when we get over into those mirror bars.
And we're gonna get to those after this one. It's still Erangle's time at the moment. Influence, phenomenal performance that we've seen in the first game of the day for them, followed by another phenomenal performance from Alpha 7 with that 2 squad wipes in a row. Let's see if they can manage to wipe this one squad that fights like they're 4 in APG. But then
Cara, tô concentrado, velho. Carrilho morreu.
Alpha will lose one of their players. The nades are gonna keep on coming through. The elimination will go to Ozi-san. The point will be in their favor. It's not gonna go to APG. Rufus, a little bit too excited there. APG are looking for another knock, but it looks like Revo will respond with a knock onto Top, who was a little bit overeager with that play. Mafioso now will also get knocked. Lots of damage on
Nossa, mas depois caiu pra quem, velho?
No push from the team squash again. Once more, the nades are dealing.
Caiu o squash também, velho. Vai tomar arroz.
There's only one member left alive in there right now. Get in there and secure that fight.
Squash caiu.
Secure this compound. You mentioned it, Nap. APG were the ones that have
Nossa, mano, o Revo.
right now. Well, they secured
Sem vida nenhuma, velho.
Now it's only Revo. Whip out those shotguns.
Ele errou a Molotov.
Secure that 4th elimination, and don't you dare get 1v4'd.
Well, Rufus is just stepped a little bit too close to the sun there. There we go, gonna be able to heal back on up. Now the push happens, Doc goes in on his own, nearly got the docketing. Instead, Revo just got docked. GG's going to APG there. That's gonna be full squad elimination. Nobody losing anything except A7, of course. Vampires did just take out, was that DK? I think? So Vampires doing some work as well. Good to see them doing something up to the northern side there. But in the meantime, I feel like APG took so long with that fight. Not necessarily so long, but they took a while with it. Now you have actually CD Alliance in Rozhawk itself. They have actually taken up that space, filled that vacuum, and now they've got a really good spot.
That they do. But unfortunately, they are not in the best of spots when it comes to the overall leaderboard. And BTR joins in being eliminated in 11th place, missing out on an opportunity to get closer to the number 1 spot. So now, distance between 4th and 1st is around 38 points. LGD, Influence, KN, and APG, you had to use this game. But we're gonna get back to that later as Suk from Weibo once more whipping out that bow, showing us what he's made of. Oh, whoo, what? Yo, hold on.
Nossa, mano, o cara tá de arco e flecha, velho. Que porra é essa?
2 arrows. He's got 22.
Come on, Legolas, show us what you're made of.
Come on.
He's just going to town with those arrows, unleashing them one right after the other. Not able to deal a lot of damage, if any, on the side of Vampire. But looks like Potato from Point Donkey has that line of sight that he needs.
I tell you what, Boy Donkey, they stepped up 6 elims so far in this game, and they're looking for more. Really nicely played from them so far. They have drawn the attention of more teams than they would have liked, I think, though. WBG also looking over at them, Order figuring things out, but there we go. Potato's going to be on board now. Zeta, quick pickup from Zeta, able to just bring him back to safety. Really well played by Void Donkey. This is exactly what we wanted to see from them.
we're going to see it from them. We have to see it now. We have to see it in this game. That's what I feel, Nep, specifically for those teams in the bottom of the leaderboard. And it's still baffling to me that now it's just way the fact that
E aí, jornada, tá torcendo pra quem?
they are not going through the same troubles that
Qual BR, irmão?
teams that are trying to follow them. They're not the ones that are feeling the pressure. And again, I have to commend them for the incredible positioning that they seem to be finding time and time again. I mean, look, you can come in an interview and tell me, yeah, we got lucky. This isn't luck.
No.
This is pure calculations. This is movement with reason. They're not going for the compound just because, oh, guys, it was empty, so let's just take it. No, they're moving with purpose.
They really are. They're moving with purpose. They're moving together as a team, fluidly. You're obviously talking to each other as well. LGD have control of the bridge, and that's not always a good thing. Woohoo! Is from Tianba is doing some big drift there. That's gonna be aching, just clearing some.
Mano, vamos, Inf. Pega a Tianba, mano. Caça essa Tianba aí, velho. Boa, boa. Cola, caralho. Cola, caralho. Cola. Mano, tem muita coisa pra nós aí.
And he is the one that's letting it rip with a knock onto Rufus now, and he's gonna keep up that pressure on the APG lineup. Switching over to Influence Rage. They were fighting Tianba, but now Vampire says, no, you are fighting us now. It is a 2v2 in this compound. Nade, I believe, falls that. No, it is gonna be a smoke to give them a little bit of cover. Tian will secure that.
Boa, Shreps.
Tianba, Influence Rage turned it around.
Boa, Shreps. Entrega aqui pra gente, viado.
Seems like it will be going in favor of Influence Rage. Vampire once more being taken out.
Caraca, nós temos que fazer muito ponto, viado, pra chegar no segundo lugar, velho.
It looks like we may be looking at a back-to-back chicken dinner from Weibo. Let's see if that's how it breaks out now as Boy and Donkey set their sights on him. An order sets them straight with a quick knock.
I mean, Influence Rage with 7 elims have put themselves into 4th place ahead of LGD. So, LGD also have to do something here to maintain that top 4 position if they want to. They're currently tied, but APG also in the mix, tied with KN as well. 33 down to Diego, that off angle from across the river being nasty to WBG here.
Calma o Ebo ainda, velho.
They need to clear the back end because they're getting sandwiched very, very quickly here. We move over to top, getting absolutely.
Não, a APG tá colada, velho. Não pode ser APG não, velho. CDAL tem que ganhar essa troca aí.
Playing a very good game here. Where was this from them? Okay, never mind.
Nossa, 2 nocados, velho.
Double nade, Doc with the double nade.
A VD tá Nossa, mano, nice, mano. A VD em third. Batendo na Weibo junto com a Inf, velho.
Let's see.
Lorenzinho, nice. Faz uma gaia lá, Lorenzinho. Faz uma gaia lá, Loren. Vamos, VD, bate neles. Bora, Lilico. É essa daí, Lilico. Nossa, pegou no carro só, velho. A VD desistiu. Nossa, boa, Lau. Vai, Lau. 33 vai tentar roubar essa kill nossa, velho. Deixa não, velho. Nice, HE. Nice, Lau. 2.
Great nade from Law. Huge nade. eliminate from Law. My goodness me.
Boa, Lau.
Influence Rage saw that they had a job to do, and by golly, are they doing it? They're just eliminating the entire north side. And
Mano, acalma o jogo, mano. Acalma os ânimos, enfim.
really nice ridge, a really nice little bit of high ground over.
Se for dominar a front dali da Weibo, cuidado que tem cara embaixo, mano. Boa, Lohanzinho.
10 eliminations on the board.
A VD tá subindo, mano.
Right now. I mean, this is insanely big for Influence Rage. They weren't
10 eliminações, mano. Coisa linda, mano. Dream do Dream, velho.
Let's see, there goes CD Alliance.
Tá, a APG vai ter que correr agora. Já tomou do gás. Caiu. A APG caiu.
So for APG, this might not be such a good thing.
APG caiu.
They also have LGD ahead of them.
Tem muito o que fazer, não.
There's nothing they can do. Doc goes out
Tem
now.
muito o que fazer,
There's
não.
only one thing left to do, and that is Yol going to just gun it for the river. Get in there.
Viu o Weibo?
Their game is effectively
Boa.
over at this point. 33
Boa,
going
caralho.
on out there.
Oh,
WBG
hold on.
eliminated.
Yo. 7 eliminations on
Já sabemos evitar, mas tem gente mais embaixo.
Okay. I mean, if I'm being honest, I feel like the alarm was snoozed multiple times, but they're finally awake.
Lil Boy, o que você vai fazer aí? Calma, meu filho. Espera. Já tomou corte, ó. Boa lá. Boa. Top 3. Lilico, calma, Lilico. Boa, Lohanzinho chegou no suporte. Tem que bater, mano. Boa. Finaliza. Isso, sem pena. Tem um potato ali à esquerda ainda. Tem mais um. Correu. Boa. A LGD. Calma que tem LGD. Potato se tacou na água. Vamos. Pega esse, Liu. Pega ele, Liu. Nice. Top 2. Vamos, Infi. Cura. Isso, se cura. Nice. Só curar, Lilico. 4x3, guys. Diego tá bem, mano. Deixa o Diego jogar. Isso aí, joga pra trás do Diego. Lilico, fica calmo aí, velho. Isso. Mano, tamo bem, mano. High ground é nosso. Vamos trabalhar devagarzinho, tá? Vamos trabalhar devagarzinho, pelo amor de Deus.
Tian has a nade in hand. Afu with that off angle. But Diego also has the off angle. So then that is matched as well. Very, very evenly split, evenly positioned. Just INF have that position. They have the high ground. They have that info. If LGD so much as moves a muscle, they will know about it.
I would believe so maybe don't.
Tamo aqui, qual é?
Vamos gravar, velho. Vamos, Inf. Vamos. Boa, Lil Boy. Vamos. Mais 2. Calma, sem desesperar. Não precisa tentar finalizar agora. Não precisa. Calma, Lilico. Lau, essa é a tua. Essa é a tua granada, Lau. Boa, finalizamos. Boa, HE. Vamos, por favor, velho. Vamos, cara, eles não são de nada, velho. Meu Jesus Cristo, velho. Vamos.
They should be able to wrap this one up. This might be able to catapult them, I believe, to maybe 90 points. Something like that. So they should be within 10 to 15 points of Weibo.
Vamos, Inf.
Which could be very important.
Boa, vamos, caralho. Vamos, porra. Vamos, caralho.
The Brazilians are masters with their grenades.
Vamos, porra.
Without even seeing them in those final moments. And I believe this is the second chicken dinner for Influence Rage in the competition. Definitely a morale booster for this squad as we head into the last 2 maps of the second day.
Vamos, caralho.
Their second win of the tournament, and that propels them into that top 5 with ease. maybe even the top 3. You have to see those exact points coming forward, but what a game from them.
Nossa senhora, velho.
Until the very, very end. They played that very well. They didn't go overboard. They didn't overextend. They didn't overpeak. They were able to move back when they needed to. And they just played that with such control that there was no way they weren't going to get the win from that. Big GG's going over to Influence Rage here. Brazil.
Meu Jesus Cristo, velho.
I mean, they are Alpha 7. They had a lot of good fights. We mentioned this before.
Pera aí, irmão. O que você tá falando de Alpha 7 aí, mano? Nem fica campeão, pô. Vamos, repulsor. Vamos, repulsor. Meu Deus, velho. Meu Deus, velho.
And I want to see more of it. And it's very surprising to see Influence Rage perform so incredibly well while looking at their counterparts in Alpha 7 who have been faltering bit by bit, day by day, the more we progress in this tournament. Which is very unlike Alpha 7.
Yeah, that's true. It is true. Maybe we'll see a bit of a comeback. Speaking of comebacks, Voin Donkey.
Deixa eu mandar uma mensagem aqui.
Top 3, huge points going over to them. But Sandstorm, I feel like it's just a little bit too late now, right? If we had seen that at the beginning of the day, maybe game 2, then there would have been a lot more of a chance for them to come back and fight for that point threshold positioning. But now
repulsor. Repulsor, quer vir Discord não, mano?
50 points.
Nossa senhora.
Get before they can think about competing with those teams at the top, that it kind of feels like it's a little bit too late.
Moleque do céu.
Late indeed, and you can't really leave it to that kind of timing in a tournament like this, where it's a grand final or a final, 3 days, 6 maps per day, 9 on the last one, if we manage to go all the way. But the way it seems to be going, I mean, it's quite possible for a team like Weibo to get 30 points, I'd say, in 3 games, and then get a chicken dinner in the 4th one. They could average that. Or they could even go for a back-to-back chicken dinner where they get like 30 points in 1 game. Instantly secure that, and then just move forward.
That's true. It is possible. It is still possible. It's just going to be incredibly difficult. But they managed to do a really good game in this last game. Can they do something else now? We're starting to move into our Miramars in the next game. Erangel is done. It is over. It is finished. We're heading to the desert in the next couple of games. I don't know what that means for any of these teams, because Miramar's a map where you play so differently. It's a very different vibe. Different teams come out on top. It's gonna be interesting to watch.
So far, this tournament has been incredibly interesting to watch. Let's have a quick rundown through the highlights and see exactly how Influence Rage managed to make it all the way towards the end of the game and get themselves that juicy chicken dinner with, I believe, 13, maybe 14 eliminations so far. Definitely some much needed points for this team.
They are indeed some really big stuff coming through here, though. You see APG against A7. Yeah, it's interesting with A7. What we've been seeing from them is not really all that sort of, what's the word? Uplifting, I guess, is kind of the right word. They had a really big game day 1. They won. They started off the tournament with winning the match. Then we didn't see too much of them, but they were still consistent. Today they came out really guns blazing, lots of elims, lots of power. But then again, we're seeing the same sort of trajectory where towards the end of the day they start dropping off a little bit. We're not seeing the fights that we were seeing even in the game before this one, right? They're just not getting those back-to-back elims. They're not getting points really at all. And maybe this is just a bad game, but going into Miramar, based off of what we saw yesterday, it kind of feels like a trajectory.
Let's see what that trajectory is going to be.
Eu não divulgo lá no Charola, né?
15 eliminations that they were able to secure. 2.8k damage in that 1 game. Phenomenal from the lineup of Influence Rage. I have to say I'm very impressed and I'm proud of their performance that we've been seeing specifically from Influence Rage. Yes, because always in international tournaments, whenever we talk Brazil, it's Alpha 7. We know whenever a Brazilian team is mentioned, it's Alpha 7. Rarely is Influence Rage in the conversation when it comes to it. But this time, it does seem to be different on this stage. And we can see that with the points that they have managed to secure. Looking towards this overall ranking, Alpha 7, Thunder Talk, and Team Spirit. 0 points all around.
That's rough. I mean, Team Spirit can afford to not have points in one game. The other two, not so much. We'll have to see where they can go, how they can bring it back in the last two games we see over here. 25 for INF, 18 for Voin Donkey, 10 for LGD, 9 for APG. There's some crazy gaps coming in here, actually. 25 to 18 is not that much, but then you go to 10? That's really insane.
Indeed, and now we're looking towards the results from the rest of the squads in day 1 and day 2. You can see 53 points in total. They had 40 points in day number 1 for Alpha 7, averaging around 8 points per game. And now we're seeing 1 point in one game, 0 in match 10. They have 2 6s back-to-back. That's fantastic. But now we see the difference that those 25 points have made for Influence Rage, rocketing them to top 3. Now we have a PEL representative in Weibo Gaming and 105 points who are setting themselves up to be the second team to join the likes of Thunder Talk at the PUBG Mobile World Cup. Right now, I believe they have the most points between them, Thunder Talk, LGD, and one more team. I'll confirm that for you, ladies and gentlemen. Tianba, that's right. So Weibo, in terms of the road to PMDC, or road to EWC, I just jumped the whole international there. It's 150 points for Weibo, 125 for Thunder Talk, 110 for LGD, 60 for Tianba. So realistically, with Thunder Talk already making it there, it's between Weibo and LGD for making it to the Esports World Cup. And right now, the numbers are just being pumped up by BTR Federals with 5.1k right now. Yeah, he's not stopping. Doc and Top right next to each other. Nomi falling a little bit behind after being eliminated early on in that previous match.
Vamos mais dois, calma. Calma, sem desesperar. Não precisa tentar finalizar agora. Não precisa, calma, Lili. Lau, essa é a tua. Essa é a tua granada, Lau. Boa, finalizamos. Boa, HE, vamos. Vamos, por favor, velho. Vamos, cara, eles não são de nada, velho. Meu Jesus Cristo, velho. Vamos. Enfim, vamos.
Fala, irmão, bom dia.
Cara, tem que falar com o Black Will, velho. Viado, eu vou abrir um TFT enquanto, velho. Demora muito, mano. Demora muito pra começar. Você tá louco. Nossa senhora. Tô de boa, irmão. Deixa eu te perguntar, eu tô te mandando mensagem. Não tô te cobrando nem nada. Só... Vamos, Loritinha. Vem Discord, cara. Vamos torcer. Vem.
Poxa, então já adianta o seu lado, filho. Eu cheguei aqui, o bagulho tá louco.
É, meu mano. Que doideira, viu? É, na verdade tem que deixar ela na outra tela mesmo. Tem que comprar outro monitor, né?
Esse computador vai querer quantos monitores, cara? Já não cabe mais nada.
Essa TV tá começando a dar ruim. Tá começando a dar dead pixel a TV. Já tem bastante tempo também, né? Ela tá ligando de... Ontem minha mãe viu, ontem eu mostrei pra ela. Tipo, tá piscando, ficando tudo branco, tá ligado?
And welcome back. Here we go. The final phase of day 2 has begun.
Também ela já é antiga, né, Ana?
Back with Miramar for game 11 out of 21 total. Here we
Aí eu vou
go.
pegar uma do mesmo tamanho que essa daqui, tá ligado?
Easy peasy for these teams. Now we just need to see if there's gonna be a little spell.
Não, e também vamos supor. Ela é uma TV, né, mano? Ela fica ligada todo dia aqui, né? E TV geralmente eu uso mesmo que... A galera não assiste, tipo, o dia todo, a noite toda. O monitor já é feito um pouquinho mais pra isso. Water treatment as well, I feel like could come into the mix. Always a fun game when it goes up there.
It really is. It really is.
South side, yeah, it really is. I like it. But we got a couple teams on the coast side as well, LGD and DK.
Listen,
so that could be fun.
I know you're listening. Don't even think about putting that Pubg Mobile. Don't even think about putting that zone towards the right side. Don't do it. Don't. Look, the plane's drifting towards the end. That we like to see. I don't know how the pilot's pulling that off, but hats off to you, my guy. That's amazing. Although, and you know what? He waited until everyone was off the plane for him to drift. You see that? That's a thoughtful piloting. Yeah, that's a very responsible pilot. I don't know about the drifting being responsible, but
Cara,
any pilots out there listening to us, do not.
O filho da minha amiga lá do Japão.
Now, focusing towards the game, Weibo are 20 points ahead of their competition in second and third place. A lead that is not going to be so easy
Mano, eu
for
vou
these
dar um salve no
squads.
parceiro que é o
Weibo's
Alan.
whole goal
É,
right now
lembro do
is
Alan.
to survive and see how long you can make it, or how far you can make it points-wise by the end of today. Because I know for sure tomorrow's strategy for Weibo is going to be a bit different than today. I mean, I could be wrong. They could just have the same strategy and walk in and destroy everyone.
Vamos, mano, começou, velho.
Only time will tell, I suppose. Only time will tell. I'm looking to them in
Começou,
particular,
começou,
not
velho.
for any other reason other than I want to see them back off a little bit, quiet down, play a normal game, not get too ahead of themselves. I feel like that might have been what happened in the last game. That's why they went out with 0 points. I want to get them a few points this game. I want to do something with the time that's allotted to them. New map is going to mean new things, so maybe that's just an automatic consequence, but I'm just saying that's what I'm looking for from Team Spirit here. Tianba, man. Tianba, well, I think it's like 4 points. They've gotten 4 points in as many games. They're bottom of the leaderboard right now, tied with CD Alliance, to be fair, but we've seen more from CD than we have from Tianba so far.
That we have Tianba at the very bottom of the leaderboard with 18 points. Not sure how they can recover from that. And the thing is, so Tianba out of the race, I would say, to jump onto that second spot. So it's just 100%. Between LGD and Weibo. Yeah, so LGD, with the point difference that you have now, you essentially need to win the tournament, and I think Weibo needs to be like maybe 3rd or 4th. In that situation in order for it to make through. I'm not too sure on the math when it comes to how many points they're earning, depending on their position in this tournament, when it comes to points they need for EWC, so don't quote me on that. I believe we have a Maxman present in the chat. Shout out to Maxman.
Yo,
even
what's up,
though
Max?
he's
Também não.
not, even
E aí,
though he's not
Cromão?
on the stream, he is still
Tamo no nervosismo,
I wanna
Cromão.
say in the chat.
Tô nervoso, véi. Tô nervoso, véi. Vamos torcer pela info, Cromão.
From Thunder Talk as well, I think a lot of people do. They're at 40 points on the board right now, which isn't the worst coming through after however many matches we've had, right? 10 matches. It's not the absolute worst. We've seen much worse than that. Is it amazing? Also not really, because the number 1 team has double those points, over double. But if you look at 7th place, that's 59 points. 40 to 59 is 1 good game away. So if Thundertalk could win this game, get a 19 point game, then they're looking at immediately being boosted just outside the top 5. So it is still very close between the middle of the pack.
Nossa, precisava, hein?
That is really going to be difficult. And the reason why we keep harping on about kind of the top 3, the top 4, I feel like maybe some people in the chat
Carolzinha, bom dia.
Then it doesn't matter where you
EAD?
Right? No, it doesn't. However, if you're talking about it's the top place team's points plus 30, you're going to be looking at, even if we stopped right now, you're looking at 135 points. For Thundertalk to go from 40 to 135 points and then get a win is impossible currently. So for them, for any of these teams in the middle of the leaderboards, they need these last 2 games.
Voltamos pro top 3, velho, coisa linda.
To those top
E aí, Carolzinha, como é que você tá, meu amor? Tudo certo, meu amor? Tamo aqui na torcida pelo Brasil, velho. Ah, torce aí com a gente, Carol. Fala aí, Go Brasil.
Alongside BTR, because they are above the 80-point mark, they do have a chance in getting there as well. Those 4 teams are going to start feeling the pressure. And with 2 more games, the less Weibo performs, the better it is for the entire lobby to be able to catch up. Because the thing is, coming into tomorrow's games, Weibo's drops, they all know about them. Weibo's rotations, they all know about them. So specifically that team
Vambora.
need to have a new strategy, or they need to be able to adapt to all the pressure that they're going to be feeling from all angles. Because everyone's going to be watching out for you, because no one's going to want you to win the tournament and just end their journey there. They're going to at least want to try to compete with you, at least want to try and get to that threshold before you do. So you crossing it first puts a target on your back.
It really does. You're going to have a lot of things to worry about as soon as you get to that threshold, but that is a conversation for tomorrow. I feel like once we start seeing those altercations come into being. Right now, Duello going to be scouting out this position for rejects. It's a really good spot, central to zone, high ground, not a whole lot of things that teams can do
Bora,
by
Cromão.
sneaking up on you, right? It's a whole cliff onto that northern side. It's a long way up from the south. So that's going to be a really good position for rejects if they can hold on to it. A7 moving now into this warehouse just to the side
Saqueio aí de AP, velho.
So that's going to good spot, but A7 looking a little split right now, just trying to get as much info as possible,
Meu
figure
Jesus.
out where's where and who's who, and doing all of those things. And really, there's no one here, actually, so Mafioso just going to be able to clear some areas, clear that space away. For Team Spirit, though, there is a team a little bit
Ela é o que?
closer.
3? Não, ela é 4 casas, ela nem precisa.
Alliance looking out there at
Isso aqui ele dá o quê?
Focusing on to Kinotrope. Honestly, I felt like Kinotrope had such a good start in day number 1. Such a fantastic start with their performance. And then, they got a chicken dinner. We saw them taking fights. We saw them making amazing rotations. Weren't able to translate that into the second day. My lord, this shift.
Vambora.
No. So many teams are going to be moving to make that rotation now. Osal has a full squad of LGD pulling up.
Uh-oh.
Yo,
oh dear.
Ling.
Oh, on the
Yo!
roof.
Ling with like the 10,000 IQ.
Fancy.
Yeah, but the thing is, if he manages to get the knock onto Osal, that would be golden. But Osal picked the perfect moment to run away. Oh my lord, what an escape.
Yeah.
What a getaway.
Ooh, I would be
Nossa, esse cara tá forte, hein?
out of my mind right about now if I was him.
100%. I would have probably like been so stressed, I would have clicked the enter vehicle and get out 5 times.
Oh, yes.
And that would have what gotten me eliminated.
I think there's a reason we're not playing in this tournament, Sandstorm. I think there's a reason we're here.
I need a hero. Nossa, velho, essa anime é muito forte.
Japanese teams though, they're back up into the top 8. Rejects today have had a really good day. So now they're neck and neck, just 3 points between them, 7th and 8th place respectively. So a nice jump up from Rejects coming through there. Some really good stuff on his end, or their end. But Vampire, they were in what, 2nd, 3rd place yesterday? Dropped down to 10th.
Tá.
They need a good win. If they can get a 20-point game, then they're back up into that 5th place position. So let's see what they can do here. Oh, WBG though, in that Elam feed, losing one, getting one knocked early. And for WBG, the key now is to have 2 good back-to-back games, right? They cannot afford for any of these teams to get anywhere near them. They really need a gap. For those teams on top, they're trying to get as much of a gap between these other teams as possible.
Vambora, velho. Nossa senhora, mano.
My goodness me, but Sook.
A Way vou ter que ir de lobby, mano. Deixa eu levantar não, velho.
That's gonna be dominated as well. Ziol gonna be able to pick him up. That's gonna be the reset. Goodness me. Why are you?
Deixa eu ficar vivo não, mano. Deixa eu ficar vivo não, por favor, velho.
Do they know that there's a carry
Se
feature?
der.
Like carry him and put him in the car? Do they know?
Maybe.
Nossa.
Maybe they were in a hurry and didn't want to like put the seatbelt on. I don't know.
I guess I'm just surprised he didn't fall off. That's crazy. GG's.
I'm just saying, Doc has amazing balance and Ziol driving the car, perfection.
Goodness. Better driver than I'll ever be, and I'll say that. I didn't say I was bad driver. I said it's a better
You
driver
are a
than
bad
I'll ever
driver.
be.
I'll say
I
you
am
are a bad
not.
driver.
I am not.
You are.
Rude. Ooh.
DK, the clip.
I was just
Thank
about
you.
to say. DK
just,
with that
just
nice.
send her the clip. That's all you need to do. Just send her the clip. Give you guys an idea in case this is something that you haven't come across.
Nah,
there was another no TLDR. There was another PUBG Mobile like an Irish kind of community level PUBG Mobile tournament that was happening, where me and Nep covered it together, and Nep basically confessed on stream that she was a horrible driver, but she would never admit to that. And then it was followed 2 minutes later by DK, which is one of our also colleagues in esports in PUBG Mobile in casting and production, has clipped that moment.
Yes, and sent it to everybody I know.
Yes.
Very mean.
I mean, it was a confession that your driving's horrible, so.
It was for the memes, bro. It was for the memes, honest.
Vamos torcer, velho.
Oh, A7. This is an important fight. Not necessarily for Thunder Talk, although yes it is, but for A7 in particular. Carrillo does go out here. A7
That he
just down
does.
to a duo. It's a 2v2 right now. They're gonna try and grab AJ if they can. The nade is gonna be coming on for fourth from Revo, and King just gets blasted with the QBZ there. Zing
Que
goes
jogo,
on
velho.
down. Okay. And somehow, okay, I was about to say, what is up with Thunder Talk? They're just unable to get these fights done and dusted. And also, what is up with Rejects, the third-party machines today? They are everywhere.
They really are,
Diferente.
and they know that they need to rack up those points by the end of today to be in the best position possible going into Smash Day tomorrow. Alpha 7, they're down to 2 members. They had 1 or 2 of their limbs stolen. See if Reject will be able to push this. I don't know if they know that there's only 2 players in that compound, so they have to be very careful. They have to be very wary making these pushes.
I like the positioning coming in here from Rejects, also from DK as well, right? La Bandita, this whole Crater's Edge is so much fun to play. It's hard to play because of how open it is. There's a lot of angles that can be taken onto you, but you play it well, and it's a very, very strong position to hold. So very excited to see what those 2 teams can do with it. Similar positioning for Voin Donkey, and you can tell by the way they're playing, they're feeling energized after that big game. But Tianba looking to crash onto LGD, and once again the opening knock is not in their favor. Wait.
I mean, they managed to turn it around, though. They turned around the trade 2 for 1. And Tianba, learning from the mistakes in their previous games, knowing that the slow push was always their problem, but looks like LGD are not giving them a moment to rest. And it is going to be Aiken going for that fight, going for that 1v1 with the S12K, but the third party from Point Donkey surprises us all. And LGD blinking health bars, MBM goes down. Last member left alive. Afu, I believe, is going to be the one to try and revive him. Oh my lord! There's 2 more squads! What is happening? Tianba, DRX, Voin Donkey, alongside LGD, all in this compound. And Afu is just sitting in the middle like, guys, please. Stop.
That is impeccable timing from both of these teams. Voin Donkey, where did they even come from? Huge fight coming in from them. Really well played, but now it's just a DRX versus Voin Donkey, and that's not what they signed up for. But hey, let's see what happens here. 2 knocks on the side of Voin Donkey. They are going to get those reses back up if they're quick about it, but Sai is not willing to push back at all. He's going to be pushing straight forward. The whole squad is actually, so that's possibly going to be Voin Donkey unable to carry the pressure here. We'll see. Some nades coming through. DK on the backside, though, also doing something here. As LGD do go out. That is huge for APG, for BTR. Vexy gonna get taken down. It is just Razak, though. Razak or Potato, the last 2 left alive.
Potato will be able to help him. See Razak, nade, this way, and he push M249. Capable of letting it rip for a solid minute with those, God knows how many bullets, 100, 150, I believe you're able to reach with that extended mag. And right now he's letting it rip indeed, and this is bit of damage. If he kept that spray going, he might have been able to get the knock. But it's fine, DRX still have the numbers advantage. Voin Donkey with those 2 members, and Razak and Potato, are they going to try to get out alive? Tony Gay with a ridiculous angle onto
Doideira, que jogo doido.
Buys some time for VD.
I mean, it's incredible. This fight is still going on. DK being very, very quiet when it comes to Fabian over there in the corner. He's just watching and waiting. He's waiting for that timing, and timing is so important in fights like this. Voin Donkey able to hold on a little bit, but they know that DK's back there. They know Fabian is looking at him, so they can't really escape right now. DRX, though, look like they might want to disengage from this. Okay, I could see this being a thing. I feel like DRX, they've not had the most dominant of tournaments so far today, or yesterday as well, so I could understand them kind of wanting to loot on up. They tried the surprise effect, they tried that third party, they're not really wanting to throw the form right And so they're just gonna go ahead and get ready to get out of dodge if they need to with the zone closing in. I respect that decision.
I think they're giving each other quite a lot of respect as well in this moment. I mean, again, I'm not sure if they know if it's a 4v2 or not, but on some level I do like the restraints. And on another level, I'm
ele tá
loving
forte,
this
viu?
split from D
Jazz é
plus
forte
E.
demais, velho.
It's amazing.
Yeah, 2 towards the, I want to say the east side of La Bandita on that high ground in the crater. And then you got Fabian holding the back, knowing that he's watching
Difícil, mano.
BD and the RX, who finally use the mollies and the nades without any risk to their survival, securing those eliminations and move on forward. Boy and Donkey though, from last game when they had like 13 eliminations and one of the players I believe had 7. That definitely boosted the team's confidence going into this one. And that push as well proved to me that they were feeling a lot more confidence coming into this game. Sometimes that can be to your own detriment as well.
Reiji with a bold nade over onto A7. Again, not always the purpose of nades to actually do any damage or take any knocks. It's really just to stop them from getting anywhere
Jogo
near those
difícil,
vehicles,
mano.
to put a stop to their plans, put them out into the zone, and ruin their game. So for them, I'm feeling like Reiji and crew are not really looking for those elims, although would be nice to get the points, right? It's really just about clearing that north side, clearing the back so that they can move freely and play the next few moments of the game.
And they want to play them in peace. So right now, towards the likes of Alpha 7 who are outside the zone, they're not given an opportunity. And they will be eliminated by reject. And I like the fact that both Japanese representatives are right next to each other with the same amount of points. Both Korean representatives in DK and DRX are also right next to each other in the leaderboard. Solidarity between the players. Absolutely loving the level
Meu
between
Deus do
those
céu,
teams.
Kinotrope could be in a really interesting spot here. We're looking at them being kind of center stage right now. And they're just trying to go do something against DRX, gatekeep them if they can, but there's also DRX in the wings as well, so DRX need to be very, very careful. D+, looking for a third-party opportunity. WBG with the high ground, looking very, very snazzy, still up as 4. Can they do something with this though? Sook does go down, Doc able to grab that head.
Quais são os outros? Cadê, ó, velho?
Edge that worries me here. WBG on the very, very edge here. There's a lot of teams on the opposite.
Nossa, na hora que esse Phantom ia avançar com a garra, velho.
It really, really isn't. But that's what happens in a competition like this, in a game like this. The pressure never stops. We just keep moving forward. We don't stop.
Vamos, Infi, devagarzinho, velho.
Let's see how far forward Weibo will be able to walk in this game. They are already 20 points ahead. Can they build an even bigger lead? Or will the teams finally start to close that gap? Zone shifts towards the center, and one of the challengers in Spirit holds amazing position right now.
This team looking very, very nice, very snazzy indeed, but they're gonna have to watch out, right? BTR, massive split across the western side of zone. As I say that, Rayan goes down. So I should shush. But anyway, upbeat Federal goes down. Oh my, what did I just do? Oh my goodness, that was instant. What? Okay. Okay, we're gonna shush about BTR for a second. Let them regroup, refocus. It's fine.
Yeah. We want the competition to be
Oh,
very,
Satar!
I would say close between all the players, and right now APG, Satar, BTR, Raya. Okay, just the entirety of BTR has been absolutely demolished. Thanks, Nep.
I'm so sorry, BTR.
Guys, it's Nep's fault. It's literally Nep's fault. It's all her fault. Blame her in the chat. Thank you.
That's wild.
Tamo bem, velho. Tamo bem demais, velho.
Finding some room to move now. APG backed off, created a vacuum. WBG here to play. Doc is down again. Osal in the Elam feed though. APG top now, going on down. That's going to be WG's move to play now. This is their time moving through, just rolling past everybody. Top going down. Sook as well, though, a little over-aggressive. BTR Razy also in the wings. Yol goes down next. 33, though, has to back off. Rifu is allowed a little bit of time to play here. His teammates back him up here. He now on the ridge looking. Razy as well. It's not going to be partial, but APG do go down. Razy could have work to do here against WBG, but for WBG, there is space that's now open.
Yeah, there is in BTR. I believe one of their last members just trying to secure any more eliminations for that team. But we'll get back to them later, as now we are checking on CD Alliance, who have now placed in 16th place in a chicken dinner with an ungodly amount of eliminations is what will be needed in this situation. Highly unlikely, but hey, anything happens and anything can happen in PUBG Mobile. That's the beauty of this game. And right now we are seeing who are still holding the ground in the middle. Influence Rage continuing to build on the lead that they got in
Vamos dominar essa reject aí, velho.
that chicken dinner and trying to follow up the likes of Spirit and Wave.
Nossa, Apollo pegou de lado lá, velho.
I think the focus was in the wrong position as Apollo was able to get one. Rage was revived, so it's now a 4v3 in favor of Reject, and Reject.
Mano, não pode deixar finalizar o Lau, velho. Nossa, sabem do Diego, do Lohanzinho lá em cima. Nossa, o Lau finalizado.
Not able to do that much damage. Lawrence now switches over to go back into the building. He has Diego with him and Lil Boy with an off angle.
Mano, tem X3, velho. Boa, Diego. Boa, Diego. Boa, Lohanzinho. Mais um só. Só o Rei Joko, velho. É só o Rei Joko. Só o Rei G, velho. Nossa, o Weibo tá se metendo no bagulho nada a ver, velho. O que eles estão fazendo aí, mano? O que vocês estão fazendo aí, mano? Estão se metendo no bagulho da Inf, nada a ver, mano. Lohan, usa kit, mano, pelo amor de Deus, velho. Sai daí. Nossa, a bola tava perfeita. Molotov de filha da fruta, velho.
Showing us exactly what he's made of.
They've got to be careful though, Sandstorm, because they've put themselves
Team
in that
Spirit tem que
crater,
cair agora, velho.
Right above them right now. They do have that off angle from he, right? That was to secure their position, make sure no one came up over the top, but it's still going to be a difficult journey.
Nossa, mano, ela ainda tomou, o dano e ainda ultou ainda assim, velho.
Vampires going head to head here in 6, as we just saw. A really good game from them still, though. They're going to be into second place now. Team Spirit has to get 3 points to beat that back. VPE with this nade could do some good work. Nobu has a P90 but no ammo left, so that's going to be a useless weapon for him. Well, let's just see what they can do. WBG now pushing over onto Team Spirit. Team Spirit has to play very, very carefully because CDAL Alliance full squad on the other side of Team Spirit could actually third party this for a sandwich opportunity. Nordbu, oh my goodness me, just gonna get one, doesn't get the other, but distracts that last player enough to let his team do the damage, and there we go. D plus Kia just run over Vampire.
That they do, and now we have 4 squads where only the team in the lead is the one that has 3 players. I'm just gonna attribute Sook not being there to him maybe using the bow, but that doesn't matter because right now CDAL push onto D plus Kia, and within a moment they're all decimated. Weibo and Spirit fighting in the zone for that #1 spot. Whoever wins that fight quite possibly and probably wins the game. 3-3 set, getting closer. Wants to play in an angle that may not be expected exactly. He's trying to get on that roof for that position. Should be able to, unless someone spots him out. He's making a lot of noise with this jumping. He's trying to pick it up because in fact now did spot him out. Nade. No, it's a molly. 3-3C's on fire. And we'll be forced to go back. Oh, but Jimmy! Jimmy from Alliance will be able to third party, applies a little bit of pressure, and now Spirit are on the back foot because it's a 3v3. And Effect is fully out. Thanks to Jimmy.
Cara, coisa feia, mano.
It could go either way here. Team Spirit could do something here unless you Molotov yourself, Nomi, because that's a really brilliant play. WBG could win this as well, but CD Alliance, man, they've got that angle, they've got the high ground, they can just pinpoint and third party smithereens. The nade is good from order. That's going to be, I think, a Team Spirit loss here. Third place is what they're going to have to be okay with right now. Down they go. WBG making sure they stay on top.
Level 9,
grab that second place back from the bridge, but now CD Alliance versus WBG. Great push from Alliance here. They know what they need to do. WBG on the back foot, 110%. Just down to this duo. They're low health. He on the outside though. Cluck versus he. He goes down to Iftar. That is it. That is done. Dusted. Order. Last man standing now. He's gonna go down. And that is gonna be CD Alliance with their first win of the tournament.
CDAL ganhou, graças a Deus, velho.
On those leaderboards, they were not looking
Graças a
good.
Deus, CDAL ganhou, velho.
Just turned it all around for them.
I did say they needed a miracle, and this is a start for Cellcon DG Alliance. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. And I believe everyone on the server took a sigh of relief with CDAL getting that chicken dinner. Because if Weibo secured another one, that would have been 2 today, 1 from yesterday at least. And that would have meant that they're just running away with this tournament. Still, they managed to get 10 plus elims, I think, for the side of Weibo along with that number 2 spot. It's getting more and more difficult for those teams to follow up now.
It really is. We've got just one more game left. One more game before we know what our point threshold is going to be, and one more game before it is truly the end of the road for a lot of these teams. Yes, we have up to 9 games scheduled for tomorrow, but the way that these teams have played in the last few games, unless they just decide the pressure is all off and they just play one game without any of that pressure, you're kind of looking at a lot of these teams kind of saying goodbye to that championship.
That might be just how it happens here, but listen, we still have one more game for today.
Cara, que jogo, velho.
To find out who's going to be at least close enough, because right now, I want to say it's a maybe 3 or 4 horse race.
Aqui eu vacilei, viu, mano? Essa Luke soltando ali, ó.
A little bit more about what's the distance, what's the difference, how big of a gap are we talking about between the top 3 teams, and just how far Weibo's running away with this. And I do have to say, it's very refreshing seeing this kind of performance from Weibo Gaming specifically. And I want to see more. I want to see that consistency as well continue on for the squad.
It would be nice. We had 14 points on the board for them before this match. It would be so nice to see more. 14 points plus this would be just so amazing.
I mean, they more than doubled at least, no?
It would, it would more than double. They
É porque essa calha aqui acho que ainda é melhor, viu?
13th, it's not a huge jump in terms of the leaderboard, but in terms of points, you're looking at a massive leap, almost putting you back into where you need to be to really have a chance to
Jazz é forte, né, mano?
This game up with not necessarily another win maybe, but another top 5 with a lot of elims. They're looking very good.
That they are, but I feel like the start was a little late, like extremely late for the squad, for them to have this kind of performance. Because I mean, the fast push that they made on D plus Kia to eliminate them, and then instantly try to make the pressure they applied to Spirit, then the push, or like after the push to D plus Kia, and then applying the pressure one more time the second the fight was over between Spirit and Weibo. Where was this decision making? Where was this timing? Where was this level of play in day 1?
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's like sometimes it just happens where the team comes back. They come back to where
Aquele tá de carrasco e pentakill, né, mano?
but sometimes the
Muito
lobby
dano.
is just a little too much at the start, and sometimes it just takes them a little too long to get back to where we want them to be. And for CD Alliance, I'm scared that that is exactly what we're seeing happen here, but it was a great win from them. It was a really, really good show. They've had a really good few games, it feels like. They've had a lot of presence in the final games, even if that doesn't really go back to doesn't get equated into points necessarily. Their presence has been felt by all of the teams in the last few games, so for them, really nice to get this win.
Bora.
Here we see this lovely little replay to give us a quick run back of the previous game. Boy and Donkey did have a stellar performance. This was a nice little fight between them and DRX, but DRX at the end, they had the numbers and they had the utility to take the fight without even putting themselves in harm's way. And APG once more, very, very quiet. Very, very calm, and I'm not sure what is going on with the players, but definitely something's going on with them for them to perform only at this level. Again, like, you had a strong start in day 1. Day 2, day 3, I mean, we mentioned the docketing happened, and it felt like it's been happening time and time again. Who's gonna stop them?
Yeah. Who is? Because at the moment, it's not really looking like...
Você não tá em live? Tamo em live, Johnny.
Not
Oxi.
really looking like anybody can at all. They're always here. They're always consistent.
Como é que tamo, Joe?
One or two bad games and teams get close, but then they always bring it back. This is a team that can perform under pressure. So we will see 18 points going over the way of CD Alliance here. 2,000 damage with 8 elims is a huge amount of... Actually, that's an insane amount of damage for only quote-unquote 8 elims. So they're really pointing those bullets left, right, and center, just trying to control the area, which is really nice to see as well. 18 points is more than they've gotten in the last 2 days, and they got 4 more points than that in 1 game.
Just need to pump those numbers up a little bit more for that squad.
Yep.
To make it easier for them to handle this situation.
Nossa, esse maluco tá muito forte.
It is getting more and more dire for the teams at the bottom half of the leaderboard, but here we see the rest of the squad.
Preciso de headline decente agora.
16 points at the end there. Weibo, you can see, even though they got second, it was 9 eliminations for them. And now we see the overall leaderboard. I mean, look, they won a game. They won a game and they jumped 1 spot from 16th to 15th. That's insane. And that 1 game is worth their entire performance in day 1 and games 1 to 4 in day 2.
Yep.
That 1 game doubled their score line across 9 matches.
Wild.
Which is absolutely ridiculous for this team. But this is the problem. When you don't perform on the first day and then you show up in the second, it's just such an uphill battle for you to climb up 1 spot. Just 1. You have to win a game.
1 spot is crazy work coming in there. I don't know. I don't know how you even go forward with that, but they are in that 40-point range now, so they'll be looking to move on up in this last game. You see there some big numbers coming in there, and actually, who was that? I didn't quite catch the name of that, but it was tied with Doc at 19 elims, but Federals is just here time and time again. They got 0 points in the last game, and he's still on top.
I believe it was Order.
Was it Order? Yeah.
I believe it was Order from
damage and elims.
É, velho, só tem esse cara aqui.
He's getting up there. Federals didn't really gain a lot this game. Wasn't able to pump out a lot of big numbers. I don't think either was Top or Doc or Nomi in that previous game. A lot of people had issues. A lot of teams ran into a couple of problems. But, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 1 game to go. And we will find out what is the Smash limit for tomorrow. We'll see you in a few. Stay tuned.
Última partida do dia, velho. Última partida do dia, velho. Cara, que jogo, hein, velho. Que jogo, velho. Jogo do Dianho, hein, mano. O jogo do Dianho, velho. Visual, senhor. Não começa, velho. Que soninho, hein? Vambora, vambora, falta pouco. Tá mutado, velho. Muted. Casters.
Ladies and gentlemen, game number 6 is underway for the second day of the Pubg Mobile Hong Kong Invitational. These 16 teams have one last chance to prove themselves and get as close as possible as they can to Weibo Gaming, and it looks like Squash is starting that in the first moment. Alpha dropped Weibo. Alpha are hot dropping with Weibo Gaming. They are
Nice, mano, nice, nice.
enough of running
Nice,
away
quebra,
with
quebra
this
Weibo. Vai, vai, Alpha 7.
Either stop now or we die.
Contesta esses caras, velho.
That seems to be the play here.
Ah, pelo amor de Deus, velho.
But they will gain something in return. HE will trade.
Pelo amor de Deus, Alpha 7. Puta que pariu, bicho.
I have a world championship under my belt. The fight continues.
Não é possível que foi lá pra dar kill, velho.
Basically fight for tournament life.
Nice, Squash.
Squash, beautiful timing with that nade. Cooked to perfection. Secures the elimination. Weibo now down to 2 players. Alpha 7. A favor being
players.
done for 56 players in this server.
Bora, bora, bora. Quebra, quebra, Mafia. Quebra, Mafia, Mafia. Nossa, o order tá muito... Nossa senhora. Big Tron se metendo no third, velho.
Order is now left alone against Carrillo and Mafioso.
Tomou HE também.
Mafioso, a lot of damage.
Pelo amor de Deus.
Once again showing us why he's world champion, but Carrillo is
Vamos, Carrilho.
waiting. Secures that elim, and finally, Weibo Gaming are stopped in their tracks. And ladies,
Cara rushou, hein, velho.
we have the threshold. If Weibo
Raizinho quer...
place at the end of this game,
Nossa,
the
capa
threshold
3, velho.
is 152 points. Meaning, Team Spirit, Influence, BTR get to work. And that's what BTR is doing. They're not waiting until tomorrow to get closer to the threshold. They know they can get closer
É a nossa chance, sim. O Alpha 7 fez a boa pra nós, velho.
Actually insane. In one fell swoop, WBG out. the threshold potentially done and dusted here, and BTR looking for this final duo. I mean, A7, it made sense to crash here. It made sense to crash here, but they're down to a duo, and as BTR move in, they were not accounting for a full squad to just move on in. This could also spell the end for A7 here today, possibly even just ruining their chances of a good day here, of a good day tomorrow, of a straight, strong trajectory moving into day 3. We'll see how it plays out, though. BTR.
Nossa, viado.
Almost going down there, Snape.
Ai, maf.
But that's gonna be it. Gonna be done. He was only there as the bait. There we go. BTR moving through A7 like it is nothing. 3 points just snaked away from them. There
Nossa, Squash.
Squash. Seeing that replay here as Squash tried to pick up on 33 and actually did. Great little headshot, but yeah, that is gonna be what it is. And A7 go out, so they've taken out WBG, but honestly, at what cost here? I really don't know.
At what cost? But I still believe that the elimination of Weibo Gaming from the beginning, this is such a crucial thing, because now Team Spirit, Influence Rage, and BTR, if they get to the range in this game, if they get to the range of 100, 110 points, any one of them, that means that essentially it becomes easier for them to handle Weibo Gaming going into tomorrow. It just means they're closer to that frame of qualification, or rather that smash rule threshold. Rather, that was the word I was looking for. And the thing is, Weibo, you see what happened to you in this game? Expect this to happen tomorrow in the first couple of games as well. You are the team in first place. You have a target on your back. Everyone is setting their sights on you. You have to be ready.
You really have to be ready, because there are teams snapping at your heels the minute you go out.
É,
This is
viado.
the game now for Team Spirit, Influence Rage, and BTR specifically.
Coisa boa pra nós, velho.
Want to get closer if possible. They're not going to be able to do anything with... Sorry, they're not going to be able to do anything to get into the threshold or bypass WBG, but they can get closer. Team Spirit, if they have a really good game, 20-point game, they're right up there with WBG. Same for Influence Rage. BTR have a little bit of a ways to go. LGD also. But with them out of the way, we've seen them ruin games in the past, right? Even today, by WBG being on that edge in that last game, they took out APG, they ruined a few other teams' chances of having a good game as well. So for them to be out right now is huge for those teams right behind them.
And just how far behind is the question. Once again, I'm looking towards that lead.
Caralho, velho, que doideira, mano.
There's so many different storylines that we can look at. So many different tales to be told. So many different, I want to say, avenues that this could go down story-wise. In terms of who can be crowned champion, who can get closer to the threshold. Can we see Team Spirit do such a thing? Is Influence Rage going to come out on top for once in an international tournament, as in winning the tournament, rather than people constantly thinking, nah, if it's Brazil playing, it's always going to be Alpha 7. Brazil has more than just Alpha 7 there, and Influence Rage has proven that in this tournament specifically, with the performance they have been putting up, with the fights that they have been showing us, with the skirmishes that have been coming to their doorstep, and they still come out on top.
Entirely true. BTR, after that A7 squashing of A7, they've moved over into El Pozo, now ready to move on into that zone. 600 meters tells me it's a little bit of a
Nossa, o odyssey, velho.
centered up a little bit. We'll see where zone 2 will take us, but we are going to be seeing a lot of these teams now starting to move forward, maybe even starting to clash a little bit, you know. We had a hot drop there with A7 and WBG. Will we see it again here on these rotations further on down? Team Spirit now looking like they could be being looked at by CDAL Alliance. Influence Rage is right next door as well. Rejects are center zone. Voin Donkey, hello? What a play coming in from them. That is a massive split, and it all works in their favor.
That it does. With them having that northern
Vamos,
side,
Inf, vamos, Inf.
Donkey 39 points, 14th place.
O Spirit tem que morrer, velho.
If I'm being honest, whatever they do in this game, that I think their main focus rather should be focusing on getting the highest prize pool possible. Because being able to put yourself in a position where you can catch up the first and win the tournament, anyone who's under, I want to say APG, not gonna happen.
Vamos, velho.
Absolutely impossible. Because you're talking about possibly having 80 points to get tomorrow and then a chicken dinner. And based on the performance that I have seen from these teams, it's essentially 6th, and even APG can be added in that calculation, if I'm being fully honest here. They haven't shown their performance that we are used to seeing from this incredible lineup. Yes, they're currently in top 6, but we're touting them to be number 1, number 2 easily against these against the likes of these players. They just finished their CSA and handled it with ease.
Nossa, turn 4.
Looking for a gatekeep over on to Kinotrope here.
Turn 4.
Another team we've not seen hardly any.
Quase tomou corte de rotação.
Kinotrope today really been on a very, very quiet trajectory so far. What? 5 points, 2 points, 1 point, 2 points, 2 points. They're always there. Sorry, those are elims. So they've had 1/3 place today so far. 7th, 9th, 8th, so they're having an okay day. They're always getting a couple of points, but it's not the day that we saw from them in the in yesterday's games. So I would love to see a little bit more from them. Maybe in this final game, that's what they're gonna do.
Let's see what they're going to do, and let's see what Vampires will be able to achieve in this game. Second zone closing shortly. Just over 10 minutes have passed in this game. Thunder Talk. We mentioned teams that are going to be present in a competition like EWC that are also participating in this tournament. One of them is Thunder Talk. And having a 13th, or I want to say like not even a top 10 finish in this might not be the best.
Nossa, o Zen também tomou, velho.
Embracing arms of APG.
Marco tá morto.
Freest kills that they will pick up in this game. Freest eliminations they will find.
Yep. It is very, very true. No one else is going to look so kindly on them. Obisan going to be taken out here. Let's see, though. Yeah, that's got very, very easy. Tamar not able to really do anything with that there. I feel like I cast a curse them just a little bit. No.
Oh, you think so? You think so? A little bit. Just a bit.
Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Now they're down to a solo. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry, Kinotrope. I wanted so much better for you.
That's a little bit unfortunate for them, but when we're looking towards Schweppes and the likes of Vampire, they get themselves a lovely pickup here, a lovely knock to apply that pressure towards APG. Tony K stepping up toe-to-toe with Tom. That I want to take the rest of the team is going to be heading towards the zone. Top car slowed, might go boom too. Nope, instead he goes down. Car goes
and
boom.
The car goes boom.
And APG lose 2. Hey, that rhymed.
Yeah, GG's. Schweppes moving on in, nicely done, keeping that pressure onto APG. APG with 70 points, they're so close here. They could have really used a good game, but Vampires looking for anything they can get, right? That absolute just grasping for points, grasping for anything they can hold on to, preparing for tomorrow, right? APG still possibly, maybe could do it tomorrow. For a team like Vampires, they need this game, as many points as possible in this game if they want any sort of chance.
I mean, again, whether that chance is there realistically it's difficult to say, because again, we haven't seen a team pop something like 20 elims in one match, or in one map, right? You need something like that more than once in order to be able to get to that point. Vampire, they're on the right track. And the right track is take every single fight that you can, because otherwise there's no point. If you don't go for the fights, if you don't get the points, you will not.
Cara, precisa mandar essa TS de lobby.
Yeah. So
Essa
otherwise,
última aqui, ó, da
10th, 16th doesn't really matter. Prize pool wise, yes, obviously. But But every single one of these teams is focusing on one thing, being crowned the champion, lifting that trophy. That is the goal of all these teams here. So Vampire, I'm loving it. This is the last game. That's it. Go aggressive as you possibly could, and take every fight that you can. And that confidence alone will give you, I think it's gonna boost you so much when you take fights.
Yes. It really, really is. So I understand that a lot of these teams onto the middle of the table are taking as many fights as possible. It's what they need to do. If you're top 5 and above, I wouldn't worry too much about going out early in this last game, because you are close enough to WBG right now to actually be able to do something tomorrow. Because remember, WBG still need to get 30 points before they can win the game to win the tournament, right? So WBG at 122 points, they still need to...
Cara, encosta lá no Lau, pelo amor de Deus, velho. Para de jogar tão disputado assim.
So the teams below them have enough time to actually catch up as well. That's
Pega essa safe, eu acho que vai fechar pra dentro de prédio, velho.
Tomorrow is these teams are definitely going to be targeting them. They're definitely going to be trying to thwart that journey to the threshold, because if they do that, it's going to be a long, long day. But Tianba moving on through, trying to crash across the road and getting absolutely sent back to the lobby time and time again here. That was Team Spirit coming in. There's Voin Donkey coming in. QZZ goes down. It's just Bond left. And what can they do here? Not a whole lot of anything as Genotope do go on down. That's going to be BTR picking up another point.
I mean, it's a city finish, it seems. It's another city finish in Miramar. The map that is very well known for all the open spaces, open grounds, little places that people can hide in. But no, this time we're going for a city finish. Once again, and that seems to be the trend in this tournament, I think, when it comes to Miramar specifically. We've had more than, I think this is the second, maybe even third city finish that we might be seeing in this game. But we'll get back to that topic later as D plus Kia and Vampire once again jumping into a fight. And Vampire, they might have lost one of their members, but they're still setting their sights on all those squads, all these eliminations. So far, 6 to their name. And I think if they keep up this level of aggression, they could easily hit 15 eliminations. APG taking down BTR, Razy getting knocked to the ground. Then BTR have 2 members left. Rufus is the last one alive. He should be able to get the revive onto Zyol though. But here comes the MVP in damage in the limbs. Here comes Federals, and he's hungry. But he gets put right down into the ground. Then BTR. It's all down to Zyol. Satorlest will save them.
Tô mandando de alguém ali, velho.
Wow, what an MVP contender he is turning out to be in this game. Federals as well, able to be picked back up. I mean, honestly, if you want any duo out of BTR to be still alive, it is these two.
Team Spirit pegou 2 kills ali agora.
5 elims already, and Federals, well, we know what he can do. So great duo to be left alive.
Boa, HE, velho.
Continues to bring everybody back into this circle, into the town, into the city finishes. QZZ now gonna go down again. Bond trying to get his teammate. Not gonna be happening, possibly. There we go. That sticky nade, not gonna do much there. Oh, bad bounce on that nade. That's gonna be another fail. They might just get this res up. So Potato is gonna try to do something here. No, they're not there. They're not there, guys.
Nossa, pegou bonde.
Wait, maybe not. Bond is gonna go down here, down and out is gonna be Tianba expelled from San Martin.
Vampire tá aí atrás
I
do
could
Big
have
Tron.
sworn that Wally was not gonna catch, but it went all the way down the stairs.
What is happening? Expelled?
Ah, mano, a Team Spirit, velho, começou,
Yeah, I
né?
like that one though. Expelled. Alright, let's see what other kind of school terms we can come up with. Although I thought we would have saved that for like maybe
Vai,
a
olha
fight
aí,
around
fui jogando
school
2
in
velho.
Erangel, but okay.
You're right.
Diferente.
You're right.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. We'll see what we can come up with over the next couple of minutes, because right now the fights are getting spicier and spicier. The high ground that Vampire have over San Martin is ridiculous. But it's also a lot of windows and doors and floors and buildings that they have to monitor. So many different angles that they can be knocked from. But I don't think they can ever be pushed, though.
Time will tell. Time will tell. LG do have a great little spot. Look at this ridge they've got going on here. Using Again, edge zone, they're not going to have zone. They will have to go in eventually. Look at the power that they hold over the north side of the zone from this ridge alone. Look at the angles they have. They've got those scopes dialed in on all of those windows, all of those doors, all of those openings, and they're trying to just get as much information, scout as much as possible. Influence Rage moving into this area, possibly just to pick up Diego. I sure hope so. They're outside of zone. But maybe this is them being aggressive. They want this fight with LGD.
Mano, tá fora da safe. O que tá fazendo ainda aí, velho?
I mean, they know they need to get those points. And they know that this is their golden
Subiram, mano. Por que subiram pra jogar, mano? Por que não desceu quem tava lá em cima, mano? Tá que pariu, viado.
But yeah, I agree. They have to take this fight with LGD. 4v4. Very, very important points for them to secure. And with Law going down, Diego having to go for the revive, that just means the LGD think, alright, this is our opportunity, this is our chance, this is our push. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Diego still going left and right, just scouting, trying to find a little bit more information, but that exposes him. Little boy is there to provide a little bit of cover, a little bit of damage.
Cara, por que jogou pra cima, mano? Tava no lugar safe, mano. Era só os dois descer, velho.
Try as much as he can first. Crouch towards his team. He should be secured as an elimination for LGD, but the rest of the squad.
Cara, deitado no meio do aberto, mano. Tá de brincadeira, velho.
They are not accepting this fight, and that they will accept. A knock onto Tian to even things out. Wait.
Yeah,
damage! No, the damage!
Yep.
The damage from the zone takes down Little Boy. Playzone secures the elimination onto Lawrence, and Little Boy went down to the zone.
Mano, pra que subiu, velho? Tava safe, cara.
Diego will be the last man standing. Well, right now he's crouching. And Lexi's gonna be sitting 6 feet under. If LGD take him out here, it's gonna be very unlikely that he survives. It's a 4v1, and now you got other squads looking at it too. But it is Tian that secures it. They will not be denied that point. They worked hard for it.
Tomar no cu, mano. O que foi fazer lá embaixo, mano? Fazer lá embaixo, velho. Aí, vou até tomar um banho, mano. Já volto já. Pera aí. Joga desse jeito.
All of them. As many as they can. Just 1,000 would be nice.
Yes.
That's a bit of a guarantee. But looking on a more realistic aspect right now, the 7 points that Vampire have secured for themselves, they're already in 8th place. I mean, look, this could be a game changer for Vampire. If they manage to get themselves a chicken dinner in this with 10 plus elims, that puts them in maybe top 6, top 5. That, and then that puts them in the conversation.
Yeah.
That puts them in the conversation. It all depends on also what the likes of LGD, BTR, and Team Spirit do, because they are a heck of a lot closer to 122 than Vampire is right now. And Spirit in a bad position. They're not in the best, but hey, they got solid, a solid building under their control. It all depends on when the zone moves. I love this from Vampire Esports. They know that game-winning position. They want to try and see if they can take it. So Tian pushes up, Schweppes with the cover. One goes down. Tony secures it. Afu with the nade close range. Not sure if that's the best decision to make at this point. He's going to cook it quite a lot. Is the timing going to be right? Throws it a little bit too far. Afu will go down. Tony K has something to say. But LGD, they're still continuing this. Lane pushes all the way. And I feel like that was just sending it for the sake of sending it. And LGD now left with MVM and Vampire. They know this is the game-winning spot. They are up to what, maybe 12? No, not up to 12. They must be up to 10 now. Because because they secured 3 from LGD. And the 4th is just waiting to be secured now. And PM trying to peek, trying to do a little bit of damage. Maybe give an opportunity for another team to ruin Vampires' day. He secures 1, focuses on yet another player. He's not able to get the second one down. 1v4, what can you do? Vampire stand tall and hold their ground again. 12 eliminations. And now in 7th, 6th and 5th are out for the count. This could be a top 5 for Vampire. All the way from 10th? Or something like that. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is
7th.
crazy.
They were 11th.
Yeah. They've just shot up those rankings there. Everybody's in the 60-point region. And now it's going to be rejects to swarm in and third party. Because actually trying to get LGD rather, Vampires had to leave the buildings. They had to leave what made that compound so strong. And now rejects, understanding that, have moved into that strong position, leaving Vampire on the outs now. So that's going to be a huge fight coming up very shortly. And that's going to be DRX taking out a 1v4 against Team Spirit. QX, what on earth was that? That is a 1v4 against Team Spirit. I want to say they didn't know he was in that building because Team Spirit have held on to that building for a very long time. I did see that blue color just staring there on top of them while they were busy looking elsewhere. So I'm not even sure they were aware he was there. But that is a huge fight coming in from him. Really, really well played. And where was that DRX the entire time?
I don't know. They've been hiding.
Sure
That's
have.
what it seems like. Yeah. But the way that things turned around in those past couple of minutes, having the likes of LGD out, Team Spirit out, Influence Rage out, BTR not getting a lot of points. Weibo is breathing so many sighs of relief with the fact that not many teams have been able to close that massive gap between them.
Yeah.
It is going to be a little bit more relaxed for them now, but we are nowhere near relaxing as Thunder Talk. Hold on, split second, boom, boom, boom. You're no longer in their room. Oh my god, what happened? They just got demolished, sitting with a couple of nades. Madness.
Absolute madness. I tell you who's still here, though. It is Voin Donkey. They're looking to come back here up against BTR. Sitar will grab 1, though. This could be the end of them. Just down to 2. Vexy and Zeta. Sitar up to 6 elims now. Federal unable to grab any of those points just yet. That's going to be Razak out by DRX. DRX going to steal that point away there. And now over to Thunder Talk as well. Vexy under fire by AJ. Federals does go down here. He does go down. And that's Tianyu actually going down to a Molotov as well. They're fighting on both sides. 1v everybody. Oh my goodness me, not even able to, but there we go. Sating does do it in the end. GG's. 3rd time's the charm. Come on, finish him. There we go. Missing all the shots. But that's okay. He's got 4 elims for Sating right now. 4. He got all of those from CD Alliance. Crazy work from these teams. I mean, crazy work from these solos. What is going on? In his last game?
Yeah, and Vampire. Oh my lord. 15 eliminations, and look at that. They have the high ground. And it's completely open, I believe, under them, except there should be one of their warehouses. This is Vampire's game. This is a potential 30-point match.
Yep.
There is a potential for it because right now they just need to make sure they hold this high ground and destroy everyone who makes a move into the open.
Yeah, exactly. To get 30 points, they need to win and 5 more elims. The way they've been going might not be all that difficult for them. But let's just see. Zeta, the last man standing for Voin Donkey here on the edge of Thunder Talk Gaming. Schweppes up to 8 elims. Tony K bringing it back after the multiple early elims with those 4. Here we go. Thunder Talk under fire. Tony K trying to do all the business. Not quite able to finish up though. Not able to get that last elim or the last shot in to make it an elim. And here we go. Top 4. BTR, Thunder Talk, DRX, and Vampire Esports. 2 in the top 6, 2 in the bottom half of that leaderboard. Ooh, he just able to avoid those shots a little bit more, but not the nade. Man. What on earth is he on now?
No, but Schweppes stole it!
Oh,
Schweppes, okay, I have to see how many actual knocks that Vampire got and how many actual elims. There is definitely some broad daylight robbery being done right here, right now.
The zone
committed in front of all these teams. And the zone will start closing. Does it? Oh,
yeah.
Boy, that's not gonna help. That's not gonna be helpful because right now it's gonna get more and more difficult. But TT might be able to get that revive still.
Nice smokes. Gotta run for it. How is he still alive?
It is what it is. Sometimes the game's the game. And right now, boy, are they playing the game. But Thunder Talk, at some point, they will get exposed to that high ground. And also, Vampire will have to make their move. They're going to have to play a little bit lower because that high ground is going to be exceptionally exposed. QZC from PRX fights the dust. BTR left in the top 2 alongside Thunder Talk. Tony K finally goes down. And now it's going to be Vampire left with 1 player. 16 eliminations, but it's 1 player who has 9.
Sitar.
That's going to be the 10th elimination if he secures it. But it's going to be him versus Sitting, and he takes it down. That's the 10th elimination for Schweppes. And now it's a 1v2. Him versus BTR. Can he get to 19? Can he secure these 2 final eliminations against the best player so far in this tournament? In Federals, pulling up with the nade, peeking, trying to take the 1v1. Schweppes, lovely jump shot, but it fails. And it is oh my god, are you kidding me?
So close!
BTR Vitality secure the chicken dinner. Despite Federals failing to secure it, it is too much to handle for Schweppes in the final moments. And BTR Vitality finally getting themselves a chicken dinner in the final game of day 2. But what does that mean for the overall leaderboard? That is the question. Vampire ended up having 17, 18 eliminations.
Yes.
So close. Oh my. Blinking health bars at the end. Lovely flick as well. What a way to end the second day for Vampire. But I have to say, this should have been present in the previous games. But now that we've seen something like this, it's possible to see it in the next games.
Yes. Oh, 100%. My goodness me. I mean, they both had such great games, but from totally different perspectives. BTR were in the middle of that city, just battling it out left, right, and center, go down to a duo, and manage to bring it back home with a lot of elims. For Vampire, they had huge vantage point, huge high ground. They had everything going for them, an enormous amount of elims, fought off 2 different teams up there, come down the hill, Schweppes with 10 elims, able to take out Federal. I mean, the last player for BTR was 1 HP. He almost did it. Huge, massive games for both of these teams. Both of these teams needed it, but for Vampire, I feel like we're looking at a top 5 now.
I am not so sure about that top 5. I think maybe they stay in 6th. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think the gap might have been too big. If they managed to get that last elimination, it would have been 29 points, which would have put them around 89, 88 points, something like that. I'm not too sure. I mean, look, we don't have to do the math. We have the graphics to pull up in a few moments.
Rapaziada do YouTube, valeu aí. Vou encerrar aqui agora. Cortar aqui essa live. E é isso, viu? Tamo junto. E até mais tarde, é nóis. Na verdade que eu vou deixar o Valorant rolar, né?